asked him how I did it. I got out the limo, grabbed her hand, and went upstairs and fucked her.
I would have been swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing?
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name. Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quench the thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic with this logic, you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic. this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grieving. Put your foot on the gas, no, never stop competing, yeah. I've been doing this, I'm on it. I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it. You know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic. Keep them out your face, no way, you don't want them, yeah. Don't try to drain my energy. The enemy is everything. It's mentally, unhealthily, spreading like a rare disease. But I won't let it get to me. I don't need your therapy. I can leave a legacy of leading by intensity. Come on, we can fight this. Freedom is priceless. Spread just like a virus. Living in a crisis. Do you feel courageous? Do you seek greatness? Trust me, you can take it. Go on and take your aim. Yeah. Built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grieving. Put your foot on the gas, no, never stop competing, yeah.
Late night crew. What's happening, man? The fuck is going on, cousins? Ain't that what Kendra would say? The cousins. Whatever, Kendra. What do you look like up under all of that, Kendra? You do look good with all of that on, but sometimes you get a little too jungle weavy with it. But what do you look like up under that? You know what? Don't worry about it. Hey, say what's up to your boy. I gotta go get my chicken in like 5 minutes. My fire went out and I had to restart my fire. I am shitty. But it was my fault. Jess, Bob, Sotero, KS Dub, J Rock, Jerry, we in here, James, African and Blessed, Regina, Steven, what up, cuz? Jennifer, what's happening? White people, we gotta talk. Yep. I told y'all, I blame y'all for a lot of this Diddy shit, so we gotta talk, bro. We gotta talk, bro. White people, we gotta talk. Big, what's happening? Green Fisher, what are we doing in the building? Diddy going home tomorrow, nigga. Diddy's going home. Oh man, I am so mad at white people right now. I gotta even wait till a couple more people get in here. Matter of fact, I'll do it when I come back from my chicken situation. Yeah, you did. All white people contributed. Y'all all did. See, I love how y'all about to try to parse. No, because the shit I'm about to show y'all, I just love. I can't wait to see how any white person gonna try to slide up out of this. I can't wait. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Yeah. That's what they all say. They, oh no, Shay, no. Right, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. But here's the thing, though. Do I care is the question. Oh, that part. You know what? Nice try, Bob. that was good. That was a good try. Which one do I want? Since white people out here trying to, I ain't even showed the shit yet, and white people already out here proving my point. I ain't even shown it yet. Have not shown it yet. But they know that I'm about to show something. They like, yeah, I know whatever he's about to show, I need to get ahead of this now. Nah, come on, Diddy. Like, wait till I show y'all, nigga. I saw this shit and I was like, man, white people make me so mad, bro. Cause only white people could pull this. A nigga could not pull this, just for the record. I'm gonna get my chicken, and then white people, we gotta talk.
Known on the microphone. I got it all, but I really need a wife at home. I don't really like the zone. Never spend the night alone. I got a few you would like the but chicks that romance me don't tickle my fancy. Tiffany, Nancy, that's not what my plans be. Need a girl that can stand me, raise me a family. Go from trips to the land, see the trip to the Grammys. Cause most of these girls be confusing me. I don't know if they really love me or they using me. Maybe it's the money or maybe you ain't used to me. Cause you was depressed and now you abusing me. That's why I need me a girl to be true to me. Know about the game and know how it do to me. Without a girl on my side, they ruin me. Forget the world, girl, it's you and me. Now let's ride. I need a girl to ride me. I need a girl to make my I need a girl that makes me feel so good inside. I need a girl in my life. I need a girl to ride with me. I need a girl to be my I need a girl that makes me feel so good inside. I need a girl in my
Yo, I done met a lot of women in my lifetime, but see, it's not a lot of women that got the right mind. I done had pretty chicks with all the right features and hood rat chicks that only rock sneakers, cell phones and beepers, and know how to treat you. You break a heart, she'll walk out and leave you. I find a girl, I'ma keep her, cause now I'm getting money and the game getting deeper. You want some real I need somebody I could chill with. I need somebody I could build with. I need somebody I could hold tight. Wintertime in the full length, Snow White. Anytime we together feel so right. You the girl I've been looking for my whole life. God bless me, I'm glad I got the insight. Because of you, girl, now I understand life. I need a girl. I need a girl to ride me. I need a girl to make my wife. I need a girl who's mine, all mine. I need a girl.
Tactical nuke incoming!
Good evening, Rhonda. White people, go ahead and get it.
Hello, Mayor Moore. My name's Alex Stein. I reside at 7509 Inwood Road, and I'm here because emotionally I'm not doing well. My wife, she's been very unhappy with me lately because I have a unique opinion. And that opinion is that I want to help Puff Daddy get out of jail. And I think it's absolutely ridiculous that the guy would be arrested for doing a couple freak-offs, and he never really hurt anybody, in my opinion. And I think that should be known, that Puff Daddy should be innocent, and I wrote him a little song. You guys can sing if you want. We miss you, Puff. We want you out. Don't cry and shout. You should be free. Let's call Jay-Z. Puff Daddy's not a felon just because he got freaky with Ellen. Puff Daddy should be free. No, he doesn't have HIV. Puff Daddy is the best. Puff Daddy's better than the rest. Puff Daddy didn't kill Biggie. You know that is a lie. Puff Daddy would never cry. Puff Daddy is having fun. Puff Daddy is my son. Puff Daddy had a gun. Puff Daddy is the best. Puff Daddy beats the rest. Puff Daddy is my hero. Puff Daddy's not a zero. Puff Daddy should be free. Puff Daddy doesn't have HIV. Puff Daddy is not a felon for what he did with Ellen. Puff Daddy is not a felon. I don't care what he did with Ellen. Puff Daddy should be free. Someone please call Jay-Z. I love you, Puff. Please let him out. This is so hard for me and my family right now, Mayor Moore. This is the farm out freak-off. He just did a couple freak-offs. He didn't do anything, not on tape. So it's all on video, him and LeBron James. Whatever they did is on tape. What he did with Kamala Harris, and we should make it where felons can vote. So Puff Daddy can still vote for Kamala Harris for President of the United States of America. Puff Daddy, he should be free. And Puff Daddy doesn't have HIV. I'm just emotional. I free my boy Puff. I don't care what he did. He should be innocent. He's getting set up. And don't let him happen the same results of what happened to Jeffrey Epstein. Please, Mayor, if you can do anything, I love you. Thank you. Bye.
Mr. Stein, did you say your address?
It's 7509 Inwood Road. You're welcome to come over anytime. And me and Puff Daddy, we did a lot
Done,
of
Mr.
stuff.
Stein.
Well, you're welcome
Bye.
to come over. See you soon.
The next person. We had a lot of people talk.
I blame white people. Who else am I blame for this? This was niggas' fault? That's niggas' fault? Yeah, okay. Y'all got it. Puff Daddy, he should be free. Hey, man, my boy never lets me down. I ain't gonna hold you. My boy never holds me down, lets me down, bro. Don't believe me?
Hey guys, it's me, Alex Stein. I just want to say, this has been a terrible meeting. I mean, it's been so boring. I just listening to all these people drone on. And let me tell you something, Jennifer. I love big booty Latinas. So I sit here and I see, yes, I love...
You are out of line.
Well, I can't say I love big booty Latinas? How do you figure that?
That
Wait,
is
how is that
first
a...
response I'm
So
gonna
my,
have
my
with you.
First Amendment right, I'm allowed to say I like big booty Latinas. How is that a crime? Is that because you're a big booty Latina?
That is the second time.
Wait, how is
Do
that?
you have a comment
No, I
to
do
make
have a
about
comment about
technology?
technology, but you're yelling at me because I'm talking about big booty
not
Latinas.
yelling
Like,
at you. What
listen,
is that?
AOC is my favorite big booty Latina. You're my second favorite big booty Latina. So don't get all, butthurt about that. I still think you're a beautiful lady, little thick, but I like them thick. I mean, I don't want some skinny mini girl. I want somebody that has some cushion for the pushing. You know what I mean, Jennifer? So this is the problem: is the tech here in New York City It's absolutely ridiculous. Now my wife has got her OnlyFans on mycity.com. She's on My City showing her vagina for like $5.99 a month. And I know that you could probably make some money.
Call it?
Yeah, that's what My City, Jennifer. What? What's wrong? Keep it clean. Keep it clean. Well, do you know the First Amendment? You know I'm allowed. Hey, no.
Twice already.
Do you not understand the First Amendment? I'm allowed to say whatever I want. No, you don't understand the First Amendment. Okay, then I'm allowed to say big booty Latina.
Have him run his
Big
time.
booty Latina is not a crime to say that, officer. But this guy is such a dummy. He doesn't understand. It's not a crime. I can go to a meeting. I can call him a dummy. I can call you a big booty Latina. I can call you an idiot. I can call you a mask wearer, probably 5 times vaccinated. And I know you're probably going to get my. I can say all that. I'm a pimp on a blimp. Y'all don't understand this. I've sued y'all, and I've won. So I can call you a big booty Latina. I can say whatever I want.
Thank you.
Primetime 99. Yeah, y'all gonna learn the law. I'm a pimp on a blimp. Y'all think y'all can play with me? Look me up, Jennifer. Look me up. Pimp on a blimp.
I wouldn't waste the data on looking
You wouldn't waste it.
Hey, nigga, Alex never lets me down, nigga. Bitch, I'm a pimp on the blimp. Y'all better stop fucking. You better look me up, bitch. I already sued you niggas and won before. I'm a motherfucking pimp on the blimp. Hold on, man. I gotta hear this nigga try to get Diddy out, nigga. If Diddy get bail tomorrow, I'm gonna say it's because of this.
Hello, Mayor Moore. My name's Alex Stein. I reside at 7509 Inwood Road, and I'm here because emotionally I'm not doing well. My wife, she's been very unhappy with me lately because I have a unique opinion. And that opinion is that I want to help Puff Daddy get out of jail. And I think it's absolutely ridiculous that the guy would be arrested for doing a couple freak-offs, and he never really hurt anybody, in my opinion. And I think that should be known, that Puff Daddy should be innocent, and I wrote him a little song. You guys can sing if you want. We miss you, Puff. We want you out. Don't cry and shout. You should be free. Let's call Jay-Z. Puff Daddy's not a felon just because you got freaky with Ellen. Puff Daddy should be free. No, he doesn't have HIV. Puff Daddy is the best. Puff Daddy's better than the rest. Puff Daddy didn't kill Biggie. You know that is a lie. Puff Daddy would never cry. Puff Daddy is having fun. Puff Daddy is my son. Puff Daddy had a gun. Puff Daddy is the best. Puff Daddy beats the rest. Puff Daddy is my hero. Puff Daddy's not a zero. Puff Daddy should be free. Puff Daddy doesn't have HIV. Puff Daddy is not a felon for what he did with Ellen. Puff Daddy is not a felon. I don't care what he did with Ellen. Puff Daddy should be free. Someone please call Jay-Z. I love you, Puff. Please let him out. This is so hard for me and my family right now, man.
Daddy, I like
the
when you
power about
so
free calls. He
women
just did a couple
straight
free calls.
I like that.
He didn't do anything, not on tape. So it's all on video. Him and LeBron James, whatever they did is on tape. What he did with Kamala Harris, and we should make it where felons can vote. So Puff Daddy can still vote for Kamala Harris for President of the United States of America. Puff Daddy, he should be free. And Puff Daddy doesn't have HIV. I'm just emotional. I free my boy Puff. I don't care what he did. He should be innocent. He's getting set up. And don't let him happen the same results of what happened to Jeffrey Epstein. Please, Mayor, if you can do anything, I love you. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, it's real, because if they don't let this nigga rock, everybody up there knows if they don't let this nigga rock, he gonna sue the shit out of them and win. Everybody up there knows it. Everybody.
Mr. Stein, did you say your address?
It's 7509 Inwood Road. You're welcome to come over anytime. And me and Puff Daddy, we did a lot
Done,
of
Mr.
stuff.
Stein.
You're welcome
Bye.
to come over. See you soon.
The next person.
Puff Daddy. Puff Daddy. Puff Daddy should be free. I don't give a fuck what the nigga did with Ellen. Nigga, if you ever put your dick through Ellen's dick hole flap, nigga, ugh. Ellen literally wears underwear with dick holes in them, allegedly. Trending, what's happening? Iceberg. Net, what it do? Chadrick. Scott Johnson, I don't think I said what's up officially. Yeah, they had to. Bro, they had to. Okay, look at it like this. You got a TV show or a podcast. Somebody come on your show and say something. Now, you responsible for what goes over your air without necessarily being responsible for what that person said. Why, as Piers Morgan, will I get in between Jag and motherfucking? Because obviously they not playing with me. Ain't even. What am I gonna do? Come on the air and be like, well, why ain't they going after Jag? I know why. I'm the nigga with the bag. This bitch broke his shit. Now, Piers knew what he was doing. He tried to get that cheap little clout. But they swooped through and was like, nah. Because here's where Jay-Z and them, I feel where they coming from and why they really pressing Piers. What is Jaguar Wright's YouTube channel? What's the name of her YouTube channel? Does anybody know? And I still got the entire interview unedited, of course. That's kind of how we do. Piers Morgan Uncensored has 3.36 million subscribers. So what does that mean? So by example, the video that he dropped yesterday that we're going to be reviewing here shortly, the video that has the apology on it, it's already got 1.5 million views. This ain't like going on Art of Dialogue. This ain't her going on Vlad and shit like that. This was something different. So yeah, nigga, you think you about to make a whole ass bag off of this bitch lying? No, you not. You not getting ready to tell them let this bitch get in the. You think you gonna let this bitch get in the mainstream? And and if I'm Piers Morgan, I look at it like this. All right, Jay. Well, hold on. Yo, Jag, they pressing me. You got proof? Show me the proof. Show me the evidence, or I gotta take it down. Cause you didn't show no proof or no evidence. They said you said some fucked up shit, and they showed me they gun. I don't know if they showed you the gun. They showed me the gun. I saw the lawsuit. My lawyer called me, and they got the pistol. So you gonna show us proof? Because if not, I'm going to pull your shit down, and I'm going to apologize to them. And that's even like Piers probably. And here's the crazy thing. In the video I did earlier, I showed everybody, man, Piers been fucking with Jay and Beyonce, bro. They've been doing interviews. You know, they don't do interviews for nobody. Both of these motherfuckers that interviewed with Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan been seen at multiple parties with these niggas and everything. So you had to even see that as a setup from Jump Street, Jag. Why would you go there? Because now it don't even matter what we think in the streets. Because my whole thing with Jag is I don't necessarily think she's lying except for the details. Most of them details she be claiming she know and have, she be lying. Overarching, okay. But here's the thing. That was her first time with the mainstream world, especially on YouTube mainstream. And she blew it, nigga. She looked downright crazy to the point where Vlad took his opportunity with the mainstream to ensure that Vlad made sure to not only distance herself, he made sure to say, I know you had her on the show, Piers, but I would never have her on my show. See, Vlad did. See, even though I don't fuck with Vlad, and most people don't, he made himself look better to the mainstream audience, though. he looked better to the mainstream audience than, like, he kept it a buck. Like, yeah, bro, we all know everybody wanted to go to Diddy parties. It's just like the last couple of years where it so-called looked bad. Thank you. Piers been in the club. So I don't know what so it's almost like Piers Morgan did Jay a solid and set her up. How the fuck we don't have no proof. We don't have no motherfucking proof that Piers Morgan actually got anything from Jay-Z's lawyers. We don't have any proof of this. Only thing I know I got proof of is this nigga cool with Jay and Bay. Been like that for a while. This ain't just new. He been like that for a while. So that's why I was even wild when I saw that she went on Piers. I was just like, all right. But then when I saw it was like Vlad on there and shit, I thought Piers was just kind of like on a, we're going to let this side that don't really have much evidence say something. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back. So, I mean, they could have said Jago from the beginning. Either way, she looked terrible. And if Jay and them did say something to Piers, why would? But I ain't seen no proof of that. How do we even know that these freak off videos exist? Like, you got Tony Busby running around talking about, oh yeah, we've settled. Some of the A-list people have already settled. Shut your lying ass up, nigga. It's a lot of people grifting off of this shit, bro. It's a lot of people grifting, and I think we need to be leery of that. Because, I mean, there are people that grift on the quote-unquote right side of things. And Gene Deal, Jag Wright, and Choke No Joke are grifting. So is Art of Dialogue. Art of Dialogue is grifting. See, it's one thing to just do content. He's literally paying these people to tell these stories for his channel. There's no real pushback in any of the questioning of them. They don't, bro, you only, like, there's no way. There's no way I'm going to do 5 or 6 full interviews with you where you just going to be just spreading rumors and you never going to show any evidence. You're never going to show me any proof. You're never going to show my audience any evidence. You're never going to show any proof. I'm just going to let you keep coming back to tell stories. And since people know that you were around Puff, they like, well, he gotta know something for real. Hit that like button and we go on a commercial. So, matter of fact, let's go ahead and dive into this episode of Piers Morgan from last night.
I expect that there will be some people named in these lawsuits that will raise some eyebrows.
How big an eyebrow raise are we talking about? I mean, are we...
Why is... I'm going to be honest with you. Now, I could talk all that shit about Jaguar, right? This nigga got even less credibility than her to me. I at least know that she was around at some point. I know that Choke No Joke been around. I know that Gene Deal been around. But who the fuck are you, nigga? Who the fuck are you? And why would I could understand how Gene Deal could have possibly seen some shit. Jag could have possibly seen some shit. But who the fuck are you? Number 5 was happening. Lord, what it do? Donna's. I don't have no problem with Gene Deal and them telling them stories and shit, bro. I ain't saying they got to prove everything that they say out of their mouth because it's hard to, right? But they don't prove nothing. And then they try to then Gene Deal trying to take a victory lap because Puff got arrested. It's like, but Gene, he ain't getting charged with none of the shit you said, nigga. Bro, y'all got to stop lying on Puff. Or this shit, or y'all gonna help this nigga get off. Y'all said that this nigga got caught with drugs. Where's the drug charge? They've yet to charge him with anything funky about them other guns. Diddy got a bail hearing tomorrow with a new judge, nigga. Exactly. Some people be right, but be grifting. It's like bro, again, so a lot of people getting called out right now for just being anti-woke for the sake of being anti-woke. Where it's like, you're not coming in with clean hands. You just, it's woke. Before you even see it. This type of shit will help Diddy get off. Because the one thing that should scare everybody is this thing where y'all acting like everybody in Hollywood has went over Puff Daddy's house and fucked on tape is wild. At best, like, what, 20% of Hollywood fucking with Diddy on that shit? And that is a wildly high number, just so you know. See, that's always the perfect cover for that type of shit, is do it where everybody be at. But, and look, we know how motherfucking fickle people are. What do I mean? We know the first hint of somebody getting in trouble, everybody runs from that motherfucker. Everybody. Nobody's running from Diddy. It's almost like they confident in how this is going to end.
Talking about names as big as Diddy, potentially.
These are crimes that are so serious that it would likely leave Sean Combs in jail the rest of his life, or nearly for the rest of his life.
I think he has an out option, and that is popping a cyanide pill.
If he wanted to kill himself, he would have been dead already.
But Choke, I mean, you might have said the same thing about Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, you didn't wait for the best part yet. He's going to be indicted for the murder of Tupac.
If we dealing with sex trafficking, why the fuck do we really care if he'll be indicted for something else as wild as Pac's murder? Like, why can't we just worry? Like, because the shit he's facing right now, he'll go to jail forever, and we ain't got to worry about. He'll go to prison forever. We ain't got to worry about Pac.
Choke. And the notorious B.I.G.
And
the shocking allegations leveled at Sean Diddy Combs have burst the floodgates on salacious claims.
Choke. He gonna get indicted for Biggs' murder. That's a tough sell, bro. I could maybe hear you on the Pac one, can't hear you on the Big. Even though I don't think the whole Big thing is as straightforward as he wants you to think it is either.
About an industry many people believe harbored a monster. Understandably, the internet's ablaze with claims about these events and whether other powerful figures were involved too. Well, last week I interviewed Jaguar Wright, a singer-songwriter who's made claims about Diddy for years. Those claims had already received a lot of attention in the media across many platforms for many years. And that's the thing about platforms. The reality of the modern world is that pretty much everyone has a platform as long as they have something to say that other people want to hear. That's why we invited her on to be interviewed. The people making these claims have an audience with or without shows like mine. Well, Jaguar Wright unexpectedly made several serious
passing the buck face ass nigga
allegations about Jay-Z and Beyonce during that interview. As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves, but now they have. Their lawyers contacted us to say that those claims were totally false and have no basis in fact, and we've therefore complied with the legal request to cut them from the original interview. Editing interviews is not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored.
Right. Your show's called Uncensored, and you literally censored yourself. You can't even make this shit up with y'all mainstream niggas, bro.
You can't make this shit up.
But, like the proverbial cries of fire in a crowded theatre, there are legal limits on us too. And we apologise to Jay-Z and Beyonce. Well, now...
Yeah, but I would have told them niggas, well, then you need to sue her because I told everybody you weren't here to defend yourself, so you can't be acting like a... See, this is where it sounds, this is fishy. I don't believe this shit, nigga. I think they just trying to make Jaguar right. Because to the mainstream, I know how we go, damn, Jay, damn, that's fucked up, Jay and Beyonce. Like, y'all, what are y'all trying to hide the truth? Yeah, I get that. I understand it. I'm with y'all on all of that, bro. But take your ego and your personal feelings out of it for 2 seconds and look at the big picture. The mainstream loves Jay-Z. The mainstream loves Beyonce. The mainstream don't know what the fuck a Jaguar Wright is. The mainstream fuck with Piers Morgan. So now you got Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Piers Morgan in one swoop, letting this bitch come on, say all of that shit about Jay and them, and then totally discredit her in the same breath. So it's just hood YouTube channels for here on out.
Sean Diddy Combs is reportedly putting together an O.J. Simpson-style legal dream team to defend federal charges on sexual assault.
Why would you call it O.J. Simpson style? There's no dead bodies involved, nigga.
Assault, sex trafficking, and racketeering. It certainly looks like he's going to need all the legal help he can get. Well, last week, Houston attorney Tony Busby held a bombshell.
Yeah, because they would literally sue poor Piers Morgan for more than $2.5 million cash, and he got it. They gonna have to wait for her to sell her shit. And on top of that, this again, what can she say? She really can't even say shit to anybody that matters. she can get right back on YouTube and talk to us again. But as far as her getting to that next level, her going on Piers Morgan was a big deal. That was a big deal, and she blew it. She didn't even look as poised as, if she would have been as poised as she normally is in her, look, you could tell that she was a little up for that.
Press conference to announce he's representing 120 alleged victims of the rap mogul, during which he gave new and disturbing details.
When you talk about the ages of the victims when the
just the fact that this nigga's got all of this shit blasted on that shit behind him. This nigga got a fucking Puff Daddy hotline.
Conduct occurred, it's shocking. Our youngest victim at the time of the occurrence was 9 years old. We have an individual who was 14 years old. We have one who was 15. 25 of the 120 individuals who are plaintiffs.
I mean, I get Saul Goodman ambulance chaser vibes.
These cases were minors at the time.
And yeah, she sure shit talking too much. But that's one I ain't go, of all the times I'll be like, Jag, why don't you sit down and shut up? That's the one I can't really, I understand why she went on there. That was her shot. That was her shot.
Of the acts complained of.
In a moment, my panel will dissect and debate all of the latest developments, shocking developments. But first, I'm joined by attorney Tony Busby, who you just heard speaking there. Mr. Busby, thank you very much indeed for joining me. I want to read you a statement overnight from Janice Smalls Combs, who is Diddy's mother. It came by.
And look at all that fucking makeup Busby got on, nigga. This nigga is an ambulance chaser, nigga.
Her lawyer, Natalie Figures. It says this: I come to you today as a mother that is devastated and profoundly saddened by the allegations made against my son, Sean Combs. It is heartbreaking to see my son judged not for the truth, but for a narrative created out of lies. To bear witness what seems to be like a...
Exactly. I get it as well, but she everywhere. I mean, it's totally like... it's coming across flat because it's like, okay, she just keeps telling more and more wild stories that it's like, well, if you knew that, why didn't you lead off with that story? She's telling stories now where it's like, well, if that was the case, why didn't you say something about this oil and all this shit back then? Like she said, bro, don't you know that she sat on Piers Morgan and said that she got some bitches that they fuck with that were hidden cameras and she's seen footage and she has her own Diddy tapes? Come on, like, the fuck is wrong with her?
Public lynching of my son. Before
and so now niggas is like, if you knew all of this shit in the beginning and you got these fucking bitches that you just put in danger, now where's the proof? You literally said you got video evidence. Well, can we see it? Or are you waiting for the highest bidder too?
To prove his innocence is a pain too unbearable to put into words. Just first of all, your reaction to that statement from his mother.
That's exactly what I would expect the mother to say. You know, these allegations are shocking. These allegations are egregious. And that's why they have court systems, because we will ferret this out in the court system. We intend to prove our cases. Obviously, we're not going to prove our cases at a press conference. And, you know, with all due respect to her, you know, I've talked to these victims and I believe them. So that's exactly what I would expect his mother to say.
Your hotline took 12,000 calls in 24 hours.
12,000 calls in 24 hours. Watch how he explains this shit and tell me this just ain't sounding scammy.
Including many new allegations involving minors. At the moment, there's no class action. Each case you take will be represented individually, but just
you know why he's done that? Because he don't have the confidence that all of them telling the truth. Because if he do a class action shit and one of them lying, it's a wrap.
You got 120 already that you're repping, and you're getting so many calls.
Allegedly.
What does that tell you about the scale of all this?
Well, you know, I know that's reported 12,000 calls in a 24-hour period, and of course that's true. I want people to know that you know, obviously that's not 12,000 people claiming to be victimized by Sean.
All right, numbers gotten smaller already. Keep going.
Combs. That's, you know, a large portion of those people calling are calling with, you know, words of support.
Oh my goodness.
You know, Rick is so wild and has went so far off the the meter. It's shit that I can't even tell you on TV. I mean, you know, for the sake of our friendship, you know what I'm saying? I'm not even gonna bring it up. But trust me, he's went there. He has went where it's like, yo, Rick, man, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? You done took this shit too far. And his response is like this: there's no such place. Darkness. Let's go to the abyss, nigga! I'm not with it, man. I don't want to go to the abyss, man. You know what I'm saying? Rick wants to go to the abyss. In fact, he dwells in the abyss. Rick James dwells in the abyss, okay? And he wants company sometimes, you know? And for some reason, he likes to reach out for me. Whenever I'm around, when he wants to go there, he will reach out for me to try to take me to the abyss with him. And I'm not with it, man. I'm not with it. And that's when we end up, you know, tussling or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, nigga. Why are y'all reporting 12,000 when most of 12,000 is over 6,000, right? 6,001 is most of 12,000. So at minimum, 6,000 of these calls were people showing support. What kind of sense does this make? And why would you count these phone calls, Tony?
Others were prank calls and crank calls, as you might imagine, in this kind of situation.
And then the rest were crank calls, as he called them.
What's most interesting to me and what's most helpful are people that call that have bits of information, bits of evidence, video, perhaps pictures. And then, of course, we're particularly interested in people that had interaction with Mr. Combs and what they say happened to them and victims. But you know, I was trying to get my head around the fact that, you know, we're talking about thousands of people calling and hundreds of alleged victims. And how could that possibly be the case? But, you know, when you put that in context and you think about conduct that allegedly occurred over a 25-year period,
No, Tony. See, I can believe that this many victims happen in this many years. What's hard for me to believe is they all called you.
Multiple different venues, parties every week, sometimes multiple times a week. And the same MO each time has been alleged. Typically, it involves some sort of illicit substance placed in someone's drink, and then that individual is coerced or taken advantage of. And that's kind of the overarching theme here. And so a lot of these calls, you know, on first glance, you say, my goodness, that's just impossible that many people would call with information or who have been victimized. But when you look at it in the context of a long period of time in a particular modus operandi, it makes a lot of sense.
I mean, numbers are staggering. You've also said that there are other big names that will come out in relation to these charges. He says the day will come, you said this, when you start naming names. When will that day be, and how big are these names that we're talking about?
Yeah, people are very interested in that, of course. That comment has been repeated back to me, as you might imagine, many times. And people are, you know, waiting with bated breath, hoping that, you know, I'm going to name these big celebrity names. But
Well, you brought them up, nigga. This nigga brought the names up now. Oh, man, this is all everybody want to know about. Then why'd you bring them up, nigga? You knew when you brought them up, you knew that's what everybody was going to want to know. Now that everybody know who you are and ready for you to give these names, now you're like, I
can tell you this. I look at it in this context. If you attended one of these events, and we're talking about, you know, we've heard about the white party and the freak-offs and the after parties, but there's also, you know, impromptu parties at studios, after parties from concerts, album release parties, hotel parties. I mean, the list goes on and on. But in my view, if you attended those and you saw or knew that somebody was being given drugs, that their drinks were being drugged, and you sat by and either participated in some of this activity or encouraged this activity or allowed it to go on and helped cover it up, or were in the room while it was happening and said nothing and did not intervene, and perhaps attended more of these parties knowing that this type of conduct was going to occur. It's my view. That may not be the criminal justice system's view.
AKA, this ain't gonna work, but go off.
But it's certainly my view that you're complicit. And we intend to name people in these lawsuits. We're not going to do it in interviews. We're not going to do it, without doing our due diligence, because obviously, these types of allegations are very hurtful to people if they're not true, and very hurtful, frankly, if they are true. But if they're true, you shouldn't have been in the room and you shouldn't have been participating. So I anticipate that we're going to start filing lawsuits, and it may not be big names at first, but we have a long list.
Exactly. It's not going to be big names ever, nigga. I don't even know if you're going to file one against Diddy.
Names, and you might imagine in situations like this, that when a victim tells us that this person was in the room or this person participated, we want to do as much due diligence as humanly possible before we file that case, because in the United...
Well, shouldn't you have done your due diligence before you came out and said it was 120 of them that was ready to file against Diddy?
States, in almost every state, public filings are in fact public. And, when you name somebody in a lawsuit, the press is going to pick it up, and we're aware of that. So we're going to make sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's. And I expect that there will be some people named in these lawsuits that will raise some eyebrows.
Right. I mean, how big an eyebrow raise are we talking about? Because you've been hearing a lot of names, presumably, in the process of all these calls coming in. And you're a pretty smart lawyer, so you can probably work out the wheat from the chaff in terms of legitimate, plausible claims here in terms of victims.
Allegedly.
Are we talking about names as big as Diddy, potentially?
I expect so. I expect so.
What you mean you expect?
Obviously, those are the names that people are interested in. But I've tried to make sure people focus also on corporate entities, to include banks and hotels and perhaps even pharmaceutical.
So again, this sounds like he don't remember. It started off sounding like the A-listers and shit. Now he's telling you, oh, don't worry about the celebrities. Worry about us suing banks and suing restaurants and hotels and all of these people that help put... Nigga, you think you get ready to take down a bank over a Diddy freak off? Nigga, what kind of fucking moron is this? You just got to put on a slick back and do a press conference and motherfuckers think you for real, bro. This nigga's a fucking joke.
Entities that were maybe not directly involved, but were certainly benefiting and profiting from this kind of activity. Those I'm interested in as well. But we've seen all over social media the pictures and video of all the various individuals.
Nigga, why the fuck are you on social media when you got 120 cases you need to be vetting?
Attended these parties, and look, I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night. I know that at these types of parties, things go on. I know that there's, sex occurs.
So that's your basis of all of this is, that you seen eyes wide shut. You know what I mean? So you've seen a couple YouTube videos about Bohemian Grove. So Christine, what's happening? Exactly what's good.
Out in the open and things like that. That's not illegal and that's not properly actionable. What I'm focused on is when people are lured to these parties, coerced at these parties, given illicit drugs at this party without their knowledge, and then they're taken advantage of. And people in the room know this is happening and participate in it and do nothing about it and then tacitly cover it up. Those people, in my mind, are just as liable as the individuals who engage directly in the activity.
And of the 120 cases you've taken on so far, what percentage involve minors, and what is the split of male and female alleged victims?
Great question.
It's about 25 out of the 120, but as you might imagine, since we did the press conference, that number is growing.
Sorry, 25 minors or?
25 minors out of
Wow.
the 120 clients. Yes, sir. You know, and the minors, they kind of fall into two categories. One would be the category of individuals with stars in their eyes trying to break into the entertainment industry who were either scouted or somehow found their way to a studio or to a location where they were being screened. And either the allegation is Mr. Combs himself or those around him involved took advantage of these people in some sort of quid pro quo to try to make them a star. And, you know, in some of these cases, it was the parents who were essentially handing their child off to a group of people that they trusted and who.
Why would, bro? I've never understood people that be doing that shit. That's wild to me.
They thought were going to make their child a star. That's one group. The second group of minors would be individuals who were recruited, whether it be in a hotel lobby, whether it be at a show from the crowd, invited to a after concert party that made its way to a hotel, whether it be to some of the parties that we all heard about. They went there at age 16. You know, there's a few that, for instance, attended a party in the Hamptons and they were only 16 and taken advantage of there.
Whose house was it? Because I ain't heard you say nothing about, like, if Diddy's leasing these houses, you going after the actual owners, none of this shit.
So, you know, it pretty runs the gamut, but, you know, it's the allegations obviously are very egregious. We have to be very careful and responsible about how we pursue these. These are individual cases, will be filed. Each case will live or die on its own merits. Each case will have one or more defendants. In some cases, they'll all, you know, they may be different. Some will be filed in New York. I would expect most of them will be filed because New York has a statute of limitations that's pretty generous. New York State has recognized that these types.
And that's where I have to disconnect that, Black Eagle, I promise. And so you gave Diddy your kid came home and something happened to them. And Diddy should go to jail, but you think that you should get paid and not go to jail too? You should not only not go to jail for being that damn stupid, but you should then be rewarded.
Of allegations. It takes people a long time to come forward. It takes a lot of courage to come forward. So New York has recognized that. I think California has too. So I would expect most of these cases will be filed in those two states. And we're gonna pursue these cases aggressively. And the reason for the press conference is because, you know, I wanted to make sure that we, you know, Sean Combs obviously has been arrested. He's been indicted. His bail has been denied, I think, 3 times at this point. You know, I don't expect he's going anywhere. We want to make sure that every entity.
Now check this out, Busby. You just said that. Now, if Diddy get out tomorrow, you gonna look stupid as fuck. You gonna look dumb as fuck.
And every individual who had some role in this, that, you know, that we examine that, and if the law supports it, that we bring them in and make them a part of this case as well.
And just on that second point about the gender split here, there have been lots of rumours that it's not just women or girls who've been involved in being abused here, but also young boys and young men. Can you clarify?
No disrespect. Do you want me to really believe that you got half of the people that did call and ready to go are men? You want me to believe you got 60 men? 60 women is high. 60 men? And why did they call? And why did they all have these experiences with Diddy and A-listers and call you?
By how many of your own cases are male?
I would say that number is 50-50. According to the client group, it looks like when you try to, if you were to graph it, the number of males increased dramatically after 2015. You know, we've looked at this client group and vetted it in so many different ways, as you would expect, that you can see a trend that the number of males involved increased somewhere around the 2015 timeframe. I don't know why that is, but that's what the numbers show.
And based on the volume of claims you're getting, does that mean that these widespread rumors about Diddy's sexuality are likely to be true?
What the fuck does that have to do with anything? Y'all just a bit outside with some of this shit with me.
Yeah, I won't comment on that. I can only comment on the allegations that are being made, that will be made in a public filing. And I'll let people draw their own conclusions. But I will say that 50% of the alleged victims are in fact male. And that includes the minors that were minors at the time of the allegations.
I mean, it's truly shocking, some of these statistics you're giving. In relation to tapes or videos and stuff that you've been told about or has come into your possession, have you seen material, evidential material, which in your estimation as a lawyer...
The fact that y'all let Piers Morgan be considered anything near mainstream by like having just straight tabloid shit on, bro, is wild.
Could cross the line into criminal activity?
You know, that's a difficult question. You know, as most of your viewers know, the standard of proof in a civil case versus a criminal case is very different. In a criminal case, you have to prove your case beyond a reasonable doubt. That's why the federal authorities, you know, they typically won't bring the case unless it's rock solid. And I'm sure they talked to a lot of people. They collected a lot of evidence. And, you know, from all of that, there's only 3 counts. The civil system is... the standard of proof is preponderance of the evidence. Well, I like to describe it when I'm in court as more likely than not.
Yeah, because you know if you go to a criminal court with any of this bullshit, you gonna get your ass beat. That's without reasonable doubt.
And so when you look at these videos and pictures and bottles of oil,
yeah, that's probably it.
that I've received and other things that we've been given. You know, the piece of evidence, the piece of physical evidence or the video in and of itself doesn't really prove anything. You know, you see a sexual act being performed on video, but you need a witness or the victim to kind of put this in context. You know, you see some sexual act that was captured by a third party on video. You still have to have somebody to say, okay, that individual who was engaged in that, that's who that is. And this individual who was engaged in that was drugged, you know, and so that people are very interested into what do you have on video and what do you have as by way of evidence. And ultimately, in these kinds of cases, it ultimately comes down to he said, she said. That's it every single time, or he said, he said.
So you have no evidence. So here's the thing. So that whole thing about any A-lister settling is no. There's nobody with any type of money related to this situation or could possibly be related to this situation that would settle with this nigga. And this nigga's like, I don't have any evidence.
And so the most important thing is the credibility of the victim. And typically in these cases, the defense is always the same. When you bring these kinds of allegations against someone, the first defense is always attack the victim, try to destroy the credibility of the victim.
Okay.
And what I'm looking for is to make sure that the victim that...
Yeah, this nigga's a complete fucking clown.
I have the evidence to put the victim in the room with the alleged perpetrator. And then I try to collect witnesses and other data to corroborate what occurred. But ultimately, it comes down to the credibility of the victim and the credibility of the alleged perpetrator. And that's why hopefully we do a very good job on the front end and make it clear to these people who are calling in that make these allegations that, look, ultimately, you'll have to testify publicly in front of a jury in an open court and tell your story, and you'll be cross-examined. And
nigga, you telling them you a damn lie. What you telling these niggas is, hopefully we can get this shit settled before ever going to court.
your name will be known. And that helps me,
Get
do the
the fuck
fact
outta
checking
here.
that we need to do to make sure that we're only bringing those claims that we believe are most credible. And unfortunately, sometimes people with real claims, real legitimate claims, it makes it difficult for them to even pursue these.
Right. Right, because once they hear you already got 120 clients, somebody for real could be like, you know what? That's just too many people.
And when you feather in the fact that in many of these cases, the allegation is that the individual was drugged, it makes it even more difficult because this particular drug, this liquid G, they call it, which is basically a date rape drug, it almost wipes your memory. So, it's a Herculean task with this many people making these types of claims. But just if they would just.
But you shouldn't go on record saying that he may have gave them something that wiped their memory, because by default that means that their memory of the event can't be trusted.
It's one claim. It's difficult enough. So this is a challenge. I think we're on the right side of this, and we're going to pursue these as aggressively as the court system will allow.
And finally, Mr. Busby, how long have you been a lawyer?
Coming up on 30 years.
Have you ever been involved in anything on this scale?
In the BP horizon.
The answer is no, nigga. Whatever you get ready to say, I heard you say no. So whatever bullshit you about to run, nigga.
An explosion occurred and that vessel sank. We had, obviously thousands of clients. I dealt with the Deshaun Watson cases.
And that nigga's playing football right now. And thanks to you, that nigga's playing football right now. The grand jury has shot down 2 of them cases. Like, are you the nigga? Is that the new thing now? Is when niggas get in trouble, you come through with a bunch of fucking people that aren't credible to dilute the whole thing and then get the person off? Hit the like button. Because it seemed like motherfucking Deshaun Watson, it seemed like he was going to go down. That all of a sudden, when all of these fucking girls came out of nowhere, that's where it starts seeming like, oh, this nigga might get out of it altogether. And that's like what's happening with Diddy.
Obviously not of this scope, but, there was a lot of media attention. But certainly nothing like this. I think, I didn't just fall off the turnip truck. I've been around for a while. Even I was very surprised about the scope of this and the amount of people stepping forward who said they were victimized based upon conduct either performed by or orchestrated by Sean Combs.
It's truly shocking. Tony Busby from Houston, thank you very much indeed. I appreciate you joining me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Well, joining me now is the producer, director, and hip-hop documentarian, Choke No Joke, the former...
Nigga, the fact that you went on Piers Morgan by the name of Choke No Joke, that's why I gotta take you as a joke. Now that I'm officially done grilling for the evening. If I were a victim and I brought this to the authorities years ago, I sue the fuck out of them too. Exactly. But my whole thing is, if I hadn't talked to the authorities or anybody, I'm trying to understand why Tony Busby would make me get off the fence.
Federal prosecutor Andrew Cherkasky and the uncensored contributor Esther Krakauer. Esther, we've been sitting there. My jaw would have been dropping if I wasn't doing the interview. Your jaw was dropping about what we were hearing there. Some real extraordinary detail about this Houston lawyer's 120 cases. What struck you?
And she's sitting here talking about her jaw dropping. No evidence at all.
From what you just heard.
I think the most shocking thing, and you saw my jaw drop when he said there are just as many men that came forward as women, and that actually it looked like the systemic abuse of men started really to ramp up in 2015. And I can't believe it. This is a complete monster, not because of the gender of his victims, but because clearly he had no limits. And I would actually, say that with regards to what his mother said, the statement that she released, she's clearly in denial. Right, because you can't have this wave of sort of people coming forward and this much evidence, even from the.
And what is the evidence? Because I just gotta be honest, because we gotta think in a way of explaining why Diddy will get off. What evidence do they have? Because his lawyer was right to remind y'all, this case has nothing to do with Cassie. Not that elevator video, at least. Which, let that sink in. Now, the feds might be like, we can't charge him with that shit because of statute. But still. I heard the feds leaked that video, which we all knew that in the beginning.
Cassie video, and still say that your son is.
Well, that you see, that's interesting.
That's
because,
bizarre.
If I hadn't seen that video, I've always taken the view with all of these things, particularly since the whole Me Too thing blew up. You've got to wait for justice to be carried out. You've got to see due process take place. I think it's so important. But when I saw that video, when I saw what Diddy was actually capable of, in plain sight in a hotel corridor with this girl that he was just beating up.
This is gonna sound fucked up. Be honest. Just because you could be one of those asshole dickhead motherfuckers that's weak enough to be beating on their girl like Diddy, that does not mean you participate in freak-offs. Like, so to even say that, like, for me to see him beat Cassie ass on that video, I'm like, yeah, he a woman beating asshole. I don't see that video and go, they obviously be fucking male prostitutes together on film for days. How are you trying to make that jump? Uh-oh, number 5 with the 45 piece. That's founder status, bro. You know what it is. What up, cuz?
That was so shocking that I thought that, wow, this guy, he's not the person I met several times, who was very charming and...
So Piers Morgan let you know that he been around Jay, he been around Diddy, and now he's trying to slowly distance himself from him. But at the same time, he's helping Diddy. He's going on record now saying he's never seen that side of Diddy.
Nice. He's somebody very different. And B, he's probably capable of pretty much anything.
Well, you know what made it worse? The apology video afterwards, where he didn't mention Cassie's name once.
No.
He sat there and pontificated about how he sought help.
It wasn't an apology, was it? It was more of a...
You right about that, Ma.
Hey, I'm in the shit here. I need to get out of it.
Well, yeah,
right?
and it was just horrendous. And I think his mother is quite clearly in denial. I think on some deep level, she knows that this is a product of a household that she and I'm assuming his father ran.
His mama ain't holding herself accountable for shit, nigga.
And I never really think that people who are predators on that level just do it because, somehow they get power and they can get away with it. You really have to have a mentality, a psychology that's imbued in you from a young age. He either grew up in an environment where respecting people, particularly women, was just not a thing, or he was entitled and raised with this idea that actually if you amass enough power, you can get away with systemically abusing people.
Both.
And I think we actually need to look at the households that produce a lot of these predators, a lot of these serial rapists and sexual assaulters, than just...
Time out. Diddy ain't been convicted of shit.
Looking at them as individuals who've decided to go rogue. It's much more systemic than that.
Let me bring in Choke No Joke. Now, you were part of Diddy's entourage at a commercial event a year ago where he was welcomed like a king by fans and industry people. We've got some mulé of that. You know, this is Diddy as we...
So let's stop right there. Choke No Joke was with Diddy a year ago. So what happened? So what happened? Why you turn your back on Diddy? Is it because this is the most fame you've ever gotten? Nobody was ever talking about you until you turned your back on him.
Knew him before the scandal erupted. It was actually just before the video got leaked as well to CNN of him.
Look how thirsty you are for Diddy clout right here. Now you don't. Now all of a sudden you saying all this shit.
Beating up his then girlfriend at the time. Are you as stunned as everybody else? Choke No Joke about what's happened here to Diddy?
First of all, let me say hello to you, Piers Morgan. I am surprised at a lot of the allegations, but I want to correct you. I wasn't a part of his entourage. I was there independently, documenting as I do.
Yeah.
And
I see. Yeah.
I know him from the past, so yeah, I was there to document.
But then you go on, you try to distance yourself, and then the clout demon in you make you go, yeah, but I know him from the past. What an idiot.
Part of his entourage, I was there independently, documenting as I do. And
I see. Yeah.
I know him from the past, so yeah, I was there to document the revolt.
But you have attended, unless I'm mistaken, you have attended these freak-off parties at the invitation of Diddy on occasion. And there was one party, you said, where Diddy tried to come on to you and looked at him like he was Beyonce in a bikini, you said.
What? Choke, what is he talking about?
You were invited by Diddy personally, an industry after party. He said there were also women there who were known in the industry to be gay and so on. I mean, just when you say you're not shocked
all right,
by
let me
some
clear
of this,
that up, because...
Please, Choke. Please, clear this shit up, my nigga. Please.
Let me clear that up, because you, mashing a bunch of stuff together. All right, one, it wasn't a freak-off party. Well, it may have been. I'm not sure.
The clout demon in him won't let him get it off.
Sure, because I didn't go inside. But and I wasn't invited by him. I was actually with Little Kim and Hillary Weston, who was Little Kim's manager at the time. And we had went to the BET Awards, and then we went to an after party. At the after party is when Diddy or Sean Combs invited Kim to meet us at the CEO, Steve Rifkin's house. When we went to Steve Rifkin's house, which would be that after party, I was at that house that's where Diddy came on to me at. And there was a lot of people there, but
I like when you like this, Daddy. Daddy, I like when you scrambling and scraping for shit.
No, I
like that.
Choke, are you one of the 120 people? This is outrageous. Choke No Joke almost got fucked by Diddy.
I was on the outside, the back porch of the house. I never went inside.
Okay.
So whatever went on inside, I didn't get to see.
And when you say Diddy...
But he did come on to me.
Yeah, I mean, so tell me about that. I mean, what happened?
As far as what?
Him coming on to you.
That nigga said as far as what? Nigga, as far as this nigga trying to fuck.
He did come on to me.
Yeah, I mean, so tell me about that. I mean, what happened?
As far as what?
Him coming on to you.
He just made a pass at me, and I denied it, all with looks, and that was it.
Hey, Choke, I got one thing to say to you.
What I'm saying is, like, we're gonna find that person. Yeah. When we do find them, once we get them back, I'm gonna give them right back to them.
Really?
Say, congratulations, you played yourself.
You thought you was gonna come on here and get some shine. You didn't think he was gonna dig in your ass with all of this shit. Pause.
How did you respond?
And, that wasn't it. You know, once I realized that he was hitting on me and I looked at my environment and realized that most of the people there were gay or bisexual, then I caught on to where we were at, and I went and I grabbed Hillary Weston and I pulled her outside and I told her, hey, Diddy's over here hitting on me, go get Little Kim, we are leaving. And that's what we did.
Because there have been a lot of rumours about Diddy's sexuality, and I think it's only relevant in the sense that the lawyer I just spoke to in Texas says that half of the victims that he's representing are male, which would suggest here that, and they're all connected in some way to Diddy, obviously claims at this stage, but that would certainly suggest that Diddy is at very least bisexual.
I would believe that to be true. From him passing on to me, a straight man don't hit on a straight man. But can I say one?
Yeah, but don't no straight man sit on the internet and gossip all day. Choke, you never show any proof, bro. Y'all niggas just be wanting me to believe because, okay, yeah, I saw you around Diddy. That don't mean the shit you saying is true.
One thing in regards to your last guest that was saying that his mother's in denial. I don't think that's a fair statement for her to say, and I don't like the fact that she said he was raised in the household with a mother and father and blah, 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 because I'm a guy that grew up in the projects. My mother always made sure I did right. My father always made sure I did right. But when I got on outside of the door of the other threshold, the streets told me different. And I did a lot of things that my mother couldn't even fathom today that I did. So when she says that, you know, his mother's in denial or she may be part of the reason for his behavior, a lot of our behavior comes from being in the street and being in the industry. And I don't think that was a fair statement.
I think you misunderstood what I was saying. First of all, of course, individuals are responsible for their own actions, but individuals are not dug up from the ground or hatched from eggs. They're raised in homes. They're raised with values and cultures. I'm not blaming his mother in any way, shape, or form, but any parent whose child is accused of these sorts of crimes will undoubtedly just reflect and think, is there anything that I could have done? That's all I...
Yeah, but here's where that's even capped. And I gotta be honest. It's easy for us to just dismiss it as, that's Diddy's mama, she gonna have his back. Well, here's some truth, too. This don't mean that Diddy ain't did nothing or whatever, but this is true. Do you deny the fact that his mama know intimate facts about this case and even the defense that you don't know? And that's where her confidence could come from? I mean, we got to at least give her that benefit of the doubt. That's not saying that, oh, she got to believe in whatever, but she called his mama delusional. And I'm like, whoa, come on, dial that back. I'd have rather you called her a whore. That would have been more factual.
was insinuating. And also, she is in denial because we've all seen that Cassie video. Someone who is capable of treating Cassie like that, dragging her around like a rag doll. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not taking that feminist bullshit. So sorry. No. You can't get me with the when you see a dude put his hand on a girl that means he can do any other thing else. No. No. I gotta stay consistent. I'm not even gonna let you do that shit for Diddy. Yes, beating your woman does not mean that you are capable of sex trafficking. There's some niggas that beat they girl that ain't even capable of cheating. You've seen this moniker forever. Nigga go work, come home, mad at his job, take it out on her. This has been a trope for 100 years in America. Now this shit is like, if you do that, and this ain't saying that you should be able to put your hand on your woman. You a piece of shit, but for us to be like, now he should be investigated for sex trafficking based off of that is wild. That's a wild jump. And I'm not letting no precedent be set to where you gonna say that, because then it'll start turning into, well, this girl said you hit her. And since a girl said you hit her, then that means that you should be investigated for this other rape that happened. Because I believe her when she said you did that. And if you did that, then that means you're capable of no. I'm never letting that precedent be set. And this is some wild shit where she's sitting here and being like, his mama shouldn't believe him on this sex trafficking shit because of that shit. Bro, she probably know intimate details about the Cassie and Diddy relationship. Remember, Cassie was on drugs and shit too. So this whole thing where everybody want to believe that Cassie's attitude and shit was cool or something, bro, there's probably some times she was flipping out. And I ain't saying that she shouldn't have. But remember, we can't play dumb that Cassie didn't enter this shit for no other reason. She was with Ryan Leslie. Why didn't she just turn down Diddy and stay with Ryan Leslie? We all know why. So I just be like, I'm trying to be careful when girls like this want to just roll up with this whole, we saw him beat Cassie, so that means he definitely would sex traffic a bunch of girls. Wait, what?
You shouldn't be shocked when allegations of this kind come forward, particularly with the stuff like 1,000...
1.5 million views in 24 hours. That's why he's entertaining it. And then this is where Jaguar White is sick. Had she played cool, she'd be up there in one of them spots. She went too far. And she should, like, some of that shit, she should have held on to Jay-Z. She should have became a regular and then brought out Jay at some point. Bro, she busted all of them nuts as soon as she got on the air.
Bottles of baby oil in his home. First of all, what is he doing with all of that? And secondly, those poor babies that have been deprived of their moisturizer, right? At some point, if you're looking at it objectively, you cannot be surprised after that Cassie video came out that he is also capable of doing the things that are being alleged against him. That's not to blame his mother.
Yeah, no, you can't. Do you want me on your side of trying to convict Diddy or not? Because that's not going to do it. I'm so sorry. This ain't going to do it.
That is to say that if you're looking at this objectively, which of course she won't be able to because it's her son, you have to believe there's an element of denial there. That's not to say that people who grew up in disadvantaged situations
here's the truth.
will always turn out this way.
The truth is we don't know, right? We don't know. I think it's perfectly possible.
Right, and for her to sit here and be like, that Cassie video that proves that those guns were his, he got these drug mules, and I don't prove shit. That proves he's a fucking woman beater, nigga.
As Choke just said, that you can be one thing with your parents,
well, yeah.
But if you then get out on the streets and you get led down various bad places, you could be something which maybe you're the one in denial to your parents. I can absolutely believe that to be but the truth is we don't know. But look, she won't be the first and won't be the last mother to defend the indefensible with her son. Let me bring in Andrew here. You're a former federal prosecutor. We've heard from a civil case lawyer who's got 120 civil actions. And I said to him, has he seen stuff that passes the bar of criminality? He said it's very hard to say because you need to go through the whole process of building a criminal case. From everything you're seeing about this case, do you think that there is any doubt that P. Diddy is going to end up going to prison for a long time?
There's a mountain of evidence against him, and the federal prosecutors who brought this case, especially in the complex way that they did, are sure to get convictions along the way. I think that their charge sheet is indicative of years and years of evidence that they have deeply investigated at this point that will lead to undoubtedly convictions, and that will lead to a significant amount of jail time. That said, there are going to be battles along the way, both in the criminal realm as well as the civil realm, because the devil is often in the details. So the prosecutors, as well as the civil attorneys, are going to have to prove their case. And in most of the situations, they're going to have to prove it on kind of a day in, day out basis. On this date, this specific thing happened. The general idea that there were orgies that happened, or the general idea that drugs may have been present, or some people did drugs. Some people had feelings like if they didn't do this, they wouldn't be able to advance. Some of that stuff is not going to actually raise the charges with sufficient proof to prove either in the criminal realm or the civil realm. They're really going to have to get those criminalized elements, or in the civil case, things that look like criminal actions, the kind of removal of consent, or the pushing through these acts without consent present. And when you see over 100 people in a civil lawsuit, certainly there is concern that people are jumping on a bandwagon. Perhaps they were present and they're just saying that something non-consensual happened in one of those situations. So each of those cases are going to have to be tested. And I think the final point on, especially with Mr. Busby speaking earlier, saying that there are others that might be involved. I think the feds are going to be looking at all of those people involved and kind of giving them an option. Were you a victim? Are you somebody who we can have say something against Diddy? Or is this something where you're part of the conspiracy and we're going to add charges? Similar in the civil case. He's not naming names. Is he trying to reach hush money kind of settlements here? I think that as he's...
Oh, we only got 68 likes. Fuck it. We're going to commercial. We'll go commercial for a minute. Just showing commercial. Hit the like button, bro. Unrivaled fucking coverage. Your bitch ass. Now, I will say that this nigga's actually saying shit that makes sense. Cause girl just sitting up here like, yep, I saw him beat Cassie, so anything you charge him with, guilty. Choke is sitting up here like, yeah, Diddy tried to fuck me. Y'all niggas are wild.
Pushing forward the narrative that there were many people involved. We want to hear those names, and we want to be assured that there's not hush money agreements going on, and that he's not simply dangling the idea that he's going to drop these names before he has the opportunity to reach a settlement.
Yeah, I mean, on Fox News, their lawyer Brian Claypool said if Combs doesn't testify in this case, he's dead on arrival. Would you concur with that?
Testimony is something that I guess it has only some value to it, because of course he's going to deny it if he were to testify. I think what the case really comes down to is the corroborating evidence. It is difficult when an alleged victim goes in and simply testifies that this happened to me. Any case, whether it's criminal or civil, juries want some sort of corroboration. They want the feeling from the alleged victim that it happened and that it's reliable, but they want to look at that surrounding information. So are there videos that show it? And how can you interpret the different things that are in the video? What does the timeline look like, the text messages, the conversation surrounding the events? So it's all going to come down to corroboration on those individual cases. As I said, the devil's in the details. They're really going to have to prove the nuance of each case.
Yeah. I mean, Chuck, you chronicled the hip-hop world for a long time. I can't pretend that I'm massively shocked that the hip-hop world is full of guys behaving badly.
I guess
and displaying
I will say I do have a level of bias as a content creator. But for me personally, it's a big-ass difference from I'm going to cover this shit and we're going to see where it goes. We're going to look at the evidence. We're going to see what other things happen. That's cool, but we're going to have to wait till we see what evidence is corroborated. And then you got another nigga sitting there, yeah, man, Diddy tried to fuck me. And proof of all of this is I was next to Diddy one time. Diddy didn't even stop for 2 seconds, act like he knew this nigga. But I was next to Diddy one time, so and I'm telling you, he tried to fuck me, so then you got this other chick, like there's making money doing honest reporting, and then there's making money grifting, man. It's a big difference between just being on some content shit and grifting.
Very least, rampant misogyny. I mean,
Teresa, what's happening?
The lyrics are full of it. So there's been a kind of brazen celebration of misogyny for a long time in the hip hop world.
It ain't about giving them sympathy. It's about y'all got to be careful what y'all putting on him, because this is what will be used in court. And some of this shit is flawed on his face. You can't take him to trial on sex trafficking based off of that fucking video of Cassie. That's my whole thing, is like, to try, if we gonna do this shit, we gotta do it right so that nigga don't get out. And that nigga's probably getting out tomorrow.
Is it really shocking that Diddy and potentially other big names in the hip hop world have been, you know, holding out the carrot of record contracts and stuff and using their fame and money to drug and abuse people?
Well, for me, you know, I've been in hip hop for 30 years, even before I was born. You know, I have a documentary out called The Hip Hop Nucleus.
No, you didn't, nigga.
A documentary on the tunnel, which is out right now. But that, I've been in the club since Diddy was performing at the tunnel. I've been shooting him before he was a millionaire. So I've seen all these guys come from...
That don't mean you seen Diddy fucking bitches, bro. There's a lot of niggas I can point to and be like, I seen this nigga and I knew who this nigga was before he's who he was. I can point to some of the biggest hip hop niggas ever. That don't mean I can speak on what they was doing with some bitches. You gotta be actually there with the bitches to be able to speak, bro.
From nothing and go to millionaires, to multi-millionaires, to billionaires, allegedly, right? But throughout my travels in the industry, once I got to a certain point, like BET, I started to notice a different change in the industry where it was more of gatekeepers and, you know, I had to succumb to homosexuality. There's drugs being passed around. And, you know, I don't do these type of things. You know, my mother's a recovering addict over 30 years, so I would never do drugs. But yes, these things are a part of the culture, and the sexuality is a part of the culture. And if you don't succumb to it, like myself, my career suffered because I didn't succumb to homosexuality or the drugs.
I mean, Esther, it's, you know... Like...
They gonna step right over that shit, Choke. I ain't gonna lie to you. They not trying to hear that you gonna fuck with the gays, bro.
Like I say, I can't pretend I'm massively shocked. It is shocking to see all the scale of it. Yeah. But am I shocked that top hip-hop stars, you know, were having pretty awful parties where they did pretty awful things? I can't pretend I am.
I mean, I'm a bit shocked at the lack of judgment. So P. Diddy had friends, right? He had accomplices, he had friends, he had acquaintances. Other than sort of the ground staff, the infrastructure that kept his sick operation ticking. You know, he had high-profile friends. I'm not going to name them because I don't want to seem libelous. Right. But they were household names. They were celebrities in their own rights. They were artists, they were actresses and all of that. All of whom, in the years that they've been friends with him had at least seen or suspected some sort of character defects, to put it you know, nicely. And they still remain friends with him. They still chose to associate with him. And I draw contrast to 50 Cent, who I hope in my life I never get on the bad side of, because he is a complete bulldog. He's ruthless, right? But 50 Cent and Eminem always made it clear that they never... Together? Sorry?
I said, can I say birds of a feather flock together?
Yeah, well, yes, exactly.
All those people that you are naming about that's around Diddy, been around him, all these people, they all circled and they praised him at his time. Just 1 year ago, Diddy had the #1 album in the country with the Love album. He was celebrated. He got Lifetime Achievement Awards. He got the key to the city. They all celebrated him because they all play in the same cesspool. But
Now you talking bars.
Now that he's in trouble, the reason why you don't see no support is because they might get pulled in. But Diddy...
Yeah, but you may not quote unquote see support, but you're not really seeing support taken from him either. People are just not saying anything. Nobody is taking their support away from him. People just aren't saying whether or not they have.
Lived a rock star life, no similar to Guns N' Roses and Aerosmith. All these guys had groupies. They all did drugs. They all went on tour. The only difference between R. Kelly and Hugh Hefner is Hugh Hefner made it to the jail. Made it to the grave with a smile on his face. All R. Kelly did was try.
But here's the difference. There's a big difference, Choke. There wasn't a string of... There was a lot of girls who were Playboy bunnies who went on to be famous. You can't say that with Diddy. So even if motherfucking... that nigga was on some extra shit, which, you know, most likely was Hugh Hefner. That does not mean he had to be on any of the same shit Diddy was on. Like, Hugh Hefner was on some different shit, bro. Diddy ain't got no Hugh Hefner energy, even though Hugh Hefner shit was satanic too. But trust me, it ain't the same.
To be Hugh Hefner. So all these people, they all, you know, is black and is white.
Well,
right?
Hugh Hefner,
You're
look, to be
not
clear, hang on. To be clear, Hugh Hefner didn't sleep with minors that we're aware of, and R. Kelly did.
I mean,
fact.
Hugh Hefner.
Yeah, but there's
legal.
girls that he popped Quaaludes in their mouth. You ever hear the girl talk about how when she first met Hugh Hefner?
Oh no, I ain't never heard that. Put me on, Choke.
Thing he did was made them try drugs. He drugged them.
Yeah, I'm just saying that there was a difference between minors and adults who were, on the face of it, consenting. There's a difference.
Well, the minors have not been proved yet. Those allegations, and trust me, I'm not defending Diddy. I'm just saying, let's not just make it about it's just Diddy and let's not put allegations as facts until we see the facts.
No,
and
listen, I totally believe in you.
I agree with Choke, no joke. But this is the same nigga that came in and said that Diddy tried to fuck you.
Process. There are lots of people.
Linux was happening, cuz. Tell me what up.
Spraying all sorts of names out there, making all sorts of wild claims. This scandal is getting bigger every day. And we've got to remain cognizant that a lot of people have their own agendas here, might have their own feuds going on, might have their own scores to settle and so on. I was going to ask you, Andrew, just from a federal prosecutor point of view, when you get a name as big as Diddy and there's lots of money flushing around in potential settlements, how wary would you be about people just trying it on, you know, for a cash grab?
Oh, I think that's a big concern that in the exploration to get to the truth, and that's what the prosecutors are going to be trying to do here, is they're getting to the truth in a manner that they can prove beyond a reasonable doubt. There's a lot of evidence that they can use along the way. They can take the dozens and dozens of people that are making these claims and they can look to see if it fits into the wider scheme. Is that good evidence that they're going to be able to use to bolster their case? And I think one of the big missteps along the way would be if prosecutors or if the civil attorneys put forward cases or allegations that fall flat, something that...
Man, spit them bars then.
Is proven to be inconsistent, or something that shows that one of these folks was trying to create a buzz about them or trying to go for a money grab, and then that infiltrates and pollutes the rest of the case. Yeah. So the prosecutors, the civil attorneys, they've all got to be very careful to bring only truly credible cases of criminal acts, not people with regrettable positions that they were put in or things where they're looking back on this and trying to reframe it. Truly criminal activities are going to be the focus here, and making sure that those cases are highly reliable.
Well, that was a bit like we saw with Harvey Weinstein, wasn't it? Where there were many, many women who came forward, but they were quite careful, the feds, in the particular cases they took, so that they could almost guarantee conviction.
Well, but nigga, you just had a nigga on that said he got 120 bitches with no proof. Man, you wild as fuck, Piers. The way you talk out of both sides of your mouth.
And I think that's what they'll probably be doing here is, like you say, if you overdo it and you have too many cases you put forward and some of them are suspect and collapse, you can have a very domino effect on everything. So they'll be very cautious, I'm sure. Just on something else there, Andrew, new court documents revealed today show that Sean Combs' lawyers have apparently made a third attempt for him to get bond. Now, one of the attempts involved $50 million, which in itself said to me, this is a very serious case against him, because for them to reject a $50 million bond was pretty unprecedented.
Yeah, but he got a new judge now, too.
The fact they keep trying to get it and keep having it rejected, what does that tell you?
Well, it tells me that the judge sees this as serious as the prosecutors do. I mean, these are crimes that are so serious that it would likely leave Sean Combs in jail the rest of his life, or nearly for the rest of his life. So the idea that if he were released, is he going to show up to his hearings on time, and is he going to not commit further criminal activity? The judge is saying that he can't be assured of that. I think some of us are surprised that Sean Combs actually remained while the investigation was going on. After his house was raided, he didn't make the kind of grand flee effort to go to some sort of non-extradition type country. So I don't know where he'd go. He doesn't have a great kind of escape option, but these charges are so serious that I think that you can put this in.
Well, two things. I was waiting to see if Nop would pop his head in. Big ass happy birthday to Nop and KS Dub. You know what I mean? I'm sure Nop probably hear this on replay and don't give a fuck. He'll pretend he doesn't anyway. And so will KS, so I ain't really embarrassing them. But happy birthday to my homies. They know they mean the motherfucking world to the kid. Mama Ho, good evening.
Kind of the life sentence category, and it's really difficult for a judge to justify letting somebody out when charges are this serious and this grave.
I completely disagree. I think he has an out option, and that is popping a cyanide pill. That's the first thing P. Diddy is going to do if he gets bail. He will. He
hasn't done it yet. What? I mean, he knew what was.
You said. What did you just say? What?
I completely disagree. I think he has an out option, and that is popping a cyanide pill. That's the first thing P. Diddy is going to do if he gets bail. He will.
He hasn't done it yet. What? I mean, he knew.
Are you telling me right now that you just said that if P. Diddy gets bail, he gonna off himself? Again, this is what I was talking about with Piers, putting on people with just no fucking credibility. And this is you trying to, that's why I'm like, do y'all really work for Diddy? Because I just be like, y'all just take this shit too far.
It's grave.
I completely disagree. I think he has an out option, and that is popping a cyanide pill. That's the first thing P. Diddy is going to do if he gets bail. He will. He
hasn't done it yet. What? I mean, he knew.
Nigga, I feel you, Choke. Joke's like.
Knew what was out there. He knew that the feds were locked in on him. If he was going to take the cyanide pill, or if he was going to flee the country, he would have done it.
I don't know. I think he's so arrogant.
Can I say something real quick?
Please say something.
Let me bring in Chuck, because you know Diddy.
Can I say something, please? Yeah. Can I please say something, please? Ma'am, I don't know who you are, right? But I would like for you to consider that this is a man that has 4 children, right? There's more than 4 children.
6.
7.
But he has 4 children. He has 4 children that don't have a mother. He has 4.
That's facts.
4 children that don't have a father on the outside, right? Along with the other children. So as a black man, right, I don't care how detrimental your life is, right? He's not killing himself.
She said that shit so casually, though. Of all the wild-ass theories of Diddy I heard, I have not heard anybody go, yeah, if Diddy get bail, he killing himself. Nigga, what? He ain't, and I'm with the white dude, like, you mean to tell me he ain't gonna kill himself while he in the worst part of the prison, allegedly? He gonna wait till he get home to do it. Like, what kind of weird-ass shit is that?
and he's not fleeing the country with his children out here. Cause like, please
I'm sorry, I find
have
that
some
very hard to
compassion
believe.
for
This
the like.
I'm sorry. This is a man
Listen,
who's
lady,
facing.
listen.
How the not listen, lady, but also real shit. How do bro? Diddy can't flee. There is look. I'll put it to you this way. Diddy going on the run would be better than him going to prison. He would have a cushier life in prison than he would on the run. Because on the run, all that shit over. All that lap of luxury is over. It's over. Yeah, he may have enough money to hop around for some years. But the luxury shit over. He can go to prison and live in luxury. And he knows this. He knows this. I mean, for her to just be like, oh yeah, Diddy get out, he killed himself. Bro, I ain't in no way defending Diddy, bro. That's a bit wild.
Sexual
If
trafficking
he wanted to kill himself,
people might have said the same thing.
If he wanted to kill himself, he would have been dead already.
But Choke, I mean, you might have said the same thing about Jeffrey Epstein.
Exactly.
You know, many of his friends would have said he'll never kill himself, but he did.
In jail.
He allegedly
Who's to say that he killed himself?
Well, obviously,
I don't believe he killed himself.
I don't either. But look, he was locked up. She's talking about once he get out, he's going to do it. That's where you miss me.
Conspiracy theories, we don't know. It is believed he killed himself, but we don't know. Look,
and ironically.
Hey, we not doing no wishing death on anybody in my chat. If that's what you want, you gonna be up out of here. So I don't want to see that shit in my chat again.
Piers, the cameras wasn't working when he hung himself.
I agree that there is a lot of stuff going on there which is very
I just think it's a bit too late for P. Diddy to try and start playing good daddy after the kinds of things he's being alleged or accused of committing.
That's not about playing good daddy. Even if he could be doing it for his kids for selfish reasons. So I do want to put that out there. He could literally be like, I'm not going to kill myself for my kids. And the ulterior motive to that is actually selfish on his face. Just for the record.
Including abusing
be good
Cassie,
daddy,
which we have on film.
Ma'am, I'm not saying be good daddy. And his mother didn't deny or dispel anything about the Cassie video. She actually condemned him in that, but Pierce didn't read that part. But what I'm saying to you is the
oh shit, Choke. Hold on, Choke. What are you doing, Choke? That's another. Hold on, Choke. You was getting your shit beat in the first quarter, but now you fuck around. You damn near got 20 points.
Man ain't killing himself, and he's not playing good daddy. It's just the fact that you love your children, good, bad, or indifferent. And I'm sure his children are very, very disappointed in their father, but at the end of the day, they don't want to see him dead.
Of course not. But that's not what I'm saying they want to happen. I'm saying that this has got so bad and so out of control.
But it hasn't. Okay, listen to what you're saying. Listen to what she's saying. She's saying that Diddy would think about it because it's gotten so bad and out of control. Okay, so by that logic, if he gets released on bail, would the situation have gotten worse or better? It would have gotten better, which means that at the worst, he didn't kill himself. So why would he kill himself when it's gotten better? Why are you acting like you don't get this? You just doubling, tripling down on that ridiculous bullshit.
But I don't think it's inconceivable that he will choose to end his life. If he
You didn't wait for the best part yet. The best part didn't happen yet. The best part is,
where he's
I believe,
life in
allegedly, he's going to be indicted for the murder of Tupac and the Notorious B.I.G. I think that's what's coming down the pipeline. This stuff right here is serious, but I believe that he's going to be indicted.
And you had to take just that wild-ass left turn.
For the alleged murder for hire of Tupac Shakur.
Can I ask you, Choke, is that based on information that you know, that you've been told?
That's information on all the evidence that's out there.
could agree with the evidence that's out there, maybe pointing to him with Pac, not with Big, not in anything that's criminal.
Right, but have you? I mean, do you believe that evidence is correct? Do you think there's enough evidence that says that he was involved?
I believe from all the evidence that's been out there, all the people that talked on YouTube, that the quad hit, Diddy was there with Jimmy Henchman, right? Jimmy Henchman,
he was,
had a problem with Tupac. This is why Tupac got shot at Quad Studios. To make a long story short, at the end of it, you have a guy named Gene Dale that works for Diddy that says that
when we get to the source portion of this conversation, Choke, you got to do a tad better than Gene Deal, my nigga.
he saw a check that a guy named Eric Von Zip had, and he told him that the check was for the murder of Tupac Shakur.
Allegedly.
Now, there's a YouTuber by the name of Doggy Diamonds. Gene Deal tells Doggy Diamonds, yo, you saw the check for Biggie's life? And he corrects me, he said, no, I saw the check for Pac's life. Eric Von Zip had a check in his right back pocket, and he said it came from Black Ground Records, right? Well, Jimmy Henchman was working with Black Ground Records. So if you tie the Tupac shooting at Quad Studio and you go all the way to the end of it, if there was a check, allegedly, if this was true and Diddy did pay for the hit on Tupac and Suge Knight, and that check came from Black Ground Records, it leads right back to the Quad Studios shooting where when Tupac got shot, Diddy was in the studio with Jimmy Henchman. But they don't tell that story. They make it look like Diddy was in the studio with Biggie. No, Biggie had went behind Diddy's back and got a deal with Atlantic Records and was having a secret meeting, having a secret recording session for the first Junior Mafia album. They was recording their first song. Diddy found out that Biggie was having a session. He came to Quad. He was getting ready to bust in on Biggie. But the shooting with Tupac deferred the plan, but Diddy was going to bust in on Biggie to find out that he had a whole nother deal and he was in there recording. So to make a long story short,
nigga, you've done anything but.
Diddy and or Sean Combs and Notorious Big, Christopher Wallace had a publishing deal together. With that publishing deal, Notorious B.I.G. is to write songs and Diddy gets a portion of the money. What Biggie did, which was wrong, is he went and wrote all the stuff for Lil' Kim and Junior Mafia and lied to Diddy and told him that they wrote their own stuff. So back the day before Biggie died, Gene Deal tells the story of how
hey, nigga, what happened to you making a long story short? I could have swore. Nigga, let me get my drink, because your bitch ass told me you was making a long story short, and yet here we are. Hey man, dig. Anytime you telling a story and you have to say, to make a long story short twice, the story ain't short.
He was smoking weed with Biggie, and he was security. He was not supposed to be smoking. Biggie told Diddy that we need more security because Gene was high. So Gene, in return, tells Diddy, hey, man, Biggie, he wrote all the Lil' Kim stuff and Junior Mafia. Big and Diddy jumps in Biggie's face. Say it, you wrote it, say it. And
Nigga, what is this? The deleted scenes of Notorious, nigga? This nigga choke, bro.
Stuff and Junior Mafia. Big and Diddy jumps in Biggie's face. Say it, you wrote it, say it. And Big is like, oh man, come on, Diddy, right? The next day, Biggie was dead.
Well, that is what they call a dropped intro bombshell. Look, there are lots of rumours to that effect. I haven't heard it spelled out in quite the detail you just did. Absolutely fascinating. All I would say about any of it is I don't know what happened and whether he was involved in the shootings of Tupac or indeed Biggie. What I do know is that when I watched that video of him beating up his girlfriend in a hotel corridor, I thought this guy is capable of a lot of very, very nasty violence against people. And so nothing...
I mean, we seen him beat Steve Stout.
Bro, this shit is ridiculous that we've gotten to a place where women are held in such regard that if you put your hand on a woman, you can now be convicted of a rape or even sex trafficking. Because if you're willing to do that, then obviously that means you're sex trafficked. That's fucking wild, bro. That's wild, and it doesn't help real women that need help. Oh, y'all acting like y'all give a fuck about Cassie when I'm pulling up the same videos that's been out and you see how fucking scared and shit she was looking with Diddy all the time. Now y'all care. Y'all all used to roast Cassie. Bro, why do people forget that just 10 years ago, y'all was roasting Cassie? Y'all was relentlessly on her head. Remember, that's why Diddy had to make that fucking statement. Now y'all niggas is waiting for a Cassie comeback. Stop playing, bro.
Yeah.
We seen him beat the dude at USC with the kettlebell.
Yeah.
It's no secret that he's violent.
No.
Right.
I'm just saying. And if somebody's that violent, they're capable of pretty much anything. I'm going to leave it there.
Not what
Fascinating
that means.
debate. Thank you all very much indeed.
Piers, just fucking, is this show satire? One of your guests said that Diddy, if he gets bail, will kill himself, bro. Like, come on, Piers. Piers Morgan's bought and paid for it. Don't surprise me at all. Everybody be safe in this hurricane shit. Stop trying to not take it serious. Thought I'd say that one time for the one time. Here's your line, ass. Piers Morgan, you're a fucking joke at best. And that's it. That's at your best. All right, let's check this one.
Sean Diddy Combs is expected to return to court. The music mogul is facing federal charges of racketeering and sex trafficking. Combs has been in a New York City jail since last month when his request for bond was denied twice. ABC News legal contributor, trial attorney Brian Buckmeyer joins me now for more on this. Brian, what can we expect to happen in court?
So Dan and court were expecting the parties with their new attorneys to be there to make the arguments not only that Sean Combs should be released, arguing that the bail was denied inappropriately in the past, but also just a scheduling of the case. They're looking to move forward in this case by saying what evidence the defense is likely to receive, what, if any, motions should be filed in the coming days. It's basically an opportunity for both parties to kind of get the ball rolling towards an inevitable trial.
Brian, Combs also hired a new defense attorney. What more do you know about him?
Yeah, so Anthony, or Tony Rico, as many people know him, is kind of like the godfather of federal defense, both in terms of his death penalty work. I think he's done over 50 death penalty cases across the country, as well as being well known as a Harlem native and working in the Southern District of New York. To give you some context, I'll say this. I probably would say that I'm a fairly decent defense attorney. I have a pretty decent record when it comes to trials and whatnot. The people that I look up to as being great defense attorneys, they look up to Tony Rico as being great themselves. And so,
yikes. That nigga said the people I look up to, they look up to him. Shit.
He's at a different level, I think, when it comes to defense. I'm not saying that just because he's on the team, Sean Combs is going to be found not guilty, but this is probably one of the strongest people to be able to defend him in a case like this.
And Brian, last week a Texas attorney said he's representing 120 alleged victims, both men and women, who claim Combs sexually assaulted them. So how could these lawsuits impact the criminal case?
So Tony Busby, the attorney you were talking about, brought those cases, and he said that I think over 3,000 people had reached out to him, but he's only representing 120. He himself says that a number of those cases need to be vetted. So I think what we're going to see is those claims get vetted. We'll see what is strong, what is not, and what is not a claim in of itself altogether. But if those sources, if those alleged victims do have strong corroborating information or new facts, we could potentially see more witnesses in a federal case, other federal cases across the country, as Tony Busby says, that these claims come out of Georgia and Florida and other states. But we can also see potentially a superseding indictment where there be more charges and more alleged victims in the Sean Combs case out of the Southern District of New York.
All right, Brian Buckmeyer, thank you. And be sure to watch The Secret Life of Diddy, a special edition of 2020.
Y'all niggas are killing me, bro. Y'all niggas are fucking killing me. I bet you won't show any footage of Diddy with any ABC executives or no shit like that, because, you know, he ain't never been with none of them.
Tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern on ABC and streaming on Hulu tomorrow.
Just wow.
As Sean Diddy Combs sits behind bars awaiting trial on federal sex trafficking and racketeering charges, we take a deep dive into the growing list of high-profile celebrities charged with sexual misconduct. We start with Harvey Weinstein. In April, the New York Court of Appeals overturned Weinstein's 2020 rape and sexual assault conviction and ordered a new trial. A retrial is set for November. Weinstein maintains his innocence and that all sexual encounters were consensual. Harvey Weinstein, once a Hollywood powerhouse, was accused by some 80 women, including Ashley Judd, of sexual assault and prosecuted in New York and California. He was acquitted of a 2010 sexual battery allegation, but a mistrial was declared for 2 other accusers. In 2020, he was convicted of rape and sexual assault, though New York's highest court later overturned his 23-year sentence.
This today is an act of institutional betrayal.
His defense attorney, Arthur Aidala.
So the Court of Appeals deserves a tremendous amount of credit for doing this, based on the law, not based on opinion polls.
Weinstein's legal troubles were far from over. In 2022, he was convicted of rape and assault in Los Angeles and recently indicted on new charges in New York, where he remains behind bars. Weinstein maintains all sexual encounters were consensual. I believe I can fly.
That's that bullshit.
R&B singer R. Kelly was sentenced in federal court in New York and Chicago for sexually abusing underage girls and recording it. In New York, the I Believe I Can Fly singer was sentenced to 30 years on sex trafficking and racketeering charges, followed by a 20-year sentence for child pornography and enticement charges in Chicago.
Oh, nigga.
Weinstein maintains all sex in New York and Chicago for sexually abusing underage girls and recording it. In New York, the I Believe I Can Fly singer was sentenced to 30 years on sex trafficking and racketeering charges, followed by a 20-year sentence for child pornography and enticement charges in Chicago.
Throw the book.
The two men who once teamed up for the hit song Satisfy You now face similar accusations. Like Kelly, Diddy is being held on sex trafficking and racketeering charges. Diddy is being held in the same jail as Kelly once was, Brooklyn's troubled Metropolitan Detention Center. Unlike Kelly, Diddy is also charged with transporting individuals for prostitution.
Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires,
reportedly drugging his victims for compliance. Prosecutors report Diddy held private freak-offs where victims were drugged, beaten, and forced to participate while he recorded and masturbated. Diddy's attorney.
He's going to fight this with all of his energy and all of his might and the full confidence of his lawyers, and I expect a long battle with a good result for Mr. Combs.
Diddy faces more than 130 lawsuits, mostly by Houston attorney Tony Busby.
Our youngest victim at the time of the occurrence was 9 years old. We have an individual who was 14 years old.
Now, Diddy is expected to appear in a federal courthouse tomorrow on racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution charges. His attorney says he maintains his innocence and is eager to prove his case. Houston attorney Tony Busby, who represents more than 120 accused victims, says he
is full of shit.
Plans to start filing lawsuits this week against Diddy and the music mogul's cohorts. Now, meanwhile, the Supreme Court declined R. Kelly's appeal on Monday, which means the singer will remain behind bars.
Long little battle ahead for Diddy. We'll see what happens.
No doubt about it.
Diddy going home today. And I know he's offering all this wild ass shit. And just because he's offering all this wild ass shit, don't mean that's what they'll do. They may just tell this nigga ankle monitor. Because this nigga even told him, he said, I'm willing to be under 24-hour surveillance. Well, Law and Crime actually finally reporting on it after waiting days. I don't know. We're going to see if Law and Crime about to talk about it in this video I'm about to play right here. Let's roll.
Sean Combs making a third pitch to be released on bail. This time, he's going to a higher court, hoping he'll be released on bail as he awaits trial. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. This move by Sean Combs was not unexpected. His lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, had said they would appeal two judges' rulings denying Sean Combs bail. Sean Combs is basically asking the appeals court to overrule two lower court judges and say they made a big mistake by not granting him bail. Combs is locked up in the federal jail in Brooklyn. It's the Metropolitan Detention Center, and being behind bars would be a shock to anyone. But for Sean Combs, this is not anything he's used to.
Now that's a good ass picture of that nigga sitting there looking at Cassie, nigga.
been living in the lap of luxury for decades. And I'm going to get to the key points Combs is making here in a moment. But first, here's how we got here. Combs has pleaded not guilty to 3 federal charges. Those are racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking by fraud or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. His attorney has said that Combs hasn't committed any crimes.
His resolve is the same. He believes he's innocent. I believe he's innocent. And we're going to fight this case with all of our might until we don't have to fight any longer.
The federal case centers on Cassie Ventura, Combs' ex, who filed suit against him last November, alleging years of sexual, emotional, and physical abuse at the hands of Combs. She said he forced her to take drugs and take part in freak-offs, days-long sex parties with male sex workers. The U.S. attorney says Combs used his companies and his power and influence to cover up years of crimes and to commit sex crimes.
Said that nigga was looking like Dracula. I'm done.
Combs has been charged with RICO conspiracy. He used his business and employees of that business and other close associates to get his way. Those individuals allegedly included high-ranking supervisors in the business, personal assistants, security staff, and household staff. The indictment alleges that those individuals facilitated the freak-offs. They booked the hotel rooms and stocked them with the supplies, including drugs, baby oil, personal lubricant, extra linens, and lighting. When the hotel rooms got damaged, they helped clean it up. They arranged for victims and commercial sex workers to travel for the freak-offs, and they delivered large quantities of cash to Combs to pay for the commercial sex workers.
The feds say behind the glitz and glamour, Combs is simply a violent criminal. Federal prosecutors wrote in a bail letter, to be clear, despite the indictment naming one victim in count 2, this case is not about just one victim. The government's evidence to date, including the defendant's own communications, demonstrates that the defendant has used force and coercion against multiple victims. In addition to these women, the defendant has assaulted a host of other individuals, including his employees and witnesses to his violence. For example, the defendant directed his rage toward his employees and those close to victim 1 who had seen him physically abuse victim 1, including by throwing these witnesses against walls and onto the ground, choking them, and throwing objects at them, among other things, particularly when they attempted to protect victim 1. In doing so, the defendant has demonstrated that he is not only a danger to victims and witnesses, but is also obstructive and willing to engage whatever is necessary, including physical violence, to instill fear in witnesses to keep them silent. Federal prosecutors say Combs has also tried to obstruct justice by trying to influence witnesses in this criminal case. Defense counsel acknowledges that the defendant has contacted witnesses in the investigation, apparently with counsel's blessing, but claims that the defense has studiously avoided interviewing grand jury witnesses. The fact is, the defendant has personally and repeatedly contacted multiple witnesses, including at least one he himself knew was a grand jury witness. The defendant contacted these witnesses, including at least one whom he had not been in contact with for years, after they were served and leading up to the date they were required to appear before the grand jury. Federal prosecutors also believe that Combs is a flight risk, but Combs' attorneys say he's known for months that an indictment was coming and made arrangements to prepare for it by offering a $50 million bail package. They wrote in their appeal, Mr. Combs also paid off the outstanding debt of $18 million on his $48 million home on August 20th, 2024, so it could provide unencumbered security for any future bail package.
Wowzer. This nigga had 18 M's left on his $48 million home. Paid that shit off, nigga. Wowzers.
In the appeal, Combs' lawyers outlined the $50 million bail package they offered, including a $50 million bond co-signed by 7 family members, secured by his home and his mother's, travel restrictions to Florida and the Eastern District of New York, his willingness to be placed on GPS monitoring, surrendering his passport and those of his family members, weekly drug tests, and providing visitor logs. Combs also agreed to not have willingness to
travel restricted to the Southern District of Florida and Southern Eastern Districts of New York to attend court, meet with counsel, and attend medical appointments. See, that's where you fucking up. You trying to be able to travel from New York to Florida? Nigga, get the fuck out of here. Diddy, that's wild. Home detention, GPS monitoring, yeah, standard. Mr. Combs gives up his passport code. Give up the passports of 5 other family members. That's wild. I ain't never heard of that. Continue efforts to sell Mr. Combs' plane and a restriction on bringing the plane to any district in which Mr. Combs is located. Restricting all visitors to Mr. Combs' residence except family members, caretakers, and friends not considered to be co-conspirators, with no female visitors except family and mothers of Mr. Combs' children, with daily visitor logs shared with pretrial services. No contact with known grand jury witnesses.
To be placed on GPS monitoring, surrendering his passport and those of his family members, weekly drug
testing,
tests, and providing visitor logs. Combs also agreed to not have female visitors. The appeal also cites arguments that Combs' lawyers made to the lower courts that they interviewed male sex workers who said the alleged freak-offs were consensual and not forced upon anyone. Combs' lawyers also say he's not a flight risk and that he flew to New York on September 5th to prepare to turn himself in, and that federal agents opted to take him into custody instead. The cases I cover each day here on Crime Fix show you just how scary the world can be. And one of the scariest things that can happen is if you ever get hurt. But it's important to realize if you're ever hurt in an accident, your case could be worth millions. And that's where our sponsor, Morgan & Morgan.
Bitch, are you for real?
Like, come on, man. The worst commercial in history.
One, also in his appeal that he had spoken with a witness paid if you were to claim and get the money you deserve. You can easily start a claim at forthepeople.com/crimefix. Combs conceded in his appeal that he had spoken with a witness in the case, including a grand jury witness, but his attorney says that contact ended when his...
You have a good rest, Teresa. Please hit that like button. What's up, Ronald?
Lawyers told him not to speak with that person anymore. The lawyers wrote, for example, one witness contacted Mr. Combs, not the other way around. She reached out to Mr. Combs and told him, I'm a grand jury witness. After Mr. Combs informed defense counsel, he was instructed not to contact the witness anymore and didn't. Of course, the defense explained it must continue to interview witnesses to conduct a responsible defense investigation. Attorney Mauricio Padilla is here to talk with me about this appeal. Mauricio, your first thoughts on Sean Combs' appeal for bail?
I reviewed the documents. I don't really think it addresses certain issues that I'm sure that the court has had issues with regarding Mr. Combs having assault weapons with altered serial numbers at his home. I think that's something that any judge, whether it's an appellate judge or a trial court judge, is going to have an issue with because...
I don't know, bro. Like, that's... I don't know. I see what you're trying to say, but I don't know, bro.
It really puts you out there as a criminal, as somebody that could be a danger to the community, which is one of the factors that the courts are looking at. I didn't see anything in the motion that they filed in the petition to the appeals court that I think would change the ruling on bail.
Very interesting. You know, they're saying that, you know, the defense in this case, that he is not a flight risk, that from the very beginning of this case, he has been forthright. You know, this is somebody who's wanted to prove his innocence. He, you know, in preparation, he knew he was going to be indicted. So on September 5th, he flies to New York and he's hanging out there in preparation to turn himself in. And the feds decide to swoop in and take him into custody. Instead, you know, it's kind of like the big bad federal government coming after Sean Combs when he's tried to cooperate. But, you know, on the other side of the coin, they're saying the government argues, look, he's tried to obstruct justice and essentially intimidate witnesses.
Yeah, and that's a problem. I mean, if you look at the history of the case, by the time that they served search warrants on his properties, he was already heated up. Like, it's not like at that moment he had lawsuits pending. he should have known that maybe I shouldn't have machine guns with altered serial numbers at my house. So it doesn't seem like he was thinking rationally, which if you put yourself in the mind of a trial court judge, he's going to say to himself, you're the same person that at the moment that you had the federal government go into
Nigga, if you think they gonna look at him like any other motherfucker in that courtroom, you wild.
your property, that you had these machine guns with altered serial numbers, are you the type of person that's going to commit an egregious error while out on bond? Are you the type of person that's going to try to affect the testimony of witnesses, which is literally accused of? So it's an issue for him. And really, no one out there is going to fault a judge.
See, it's not even her no more. It's another judge
For not giving him bail. Right now, P. Diddy is not the favorite person of anybody in the United States or the world, or especially New York. He's someone that...
but do we want a judge making a decision based off of that?
He's, a batterer of women. They publicize that. And I don't think that many people are going to criticize a judge for not giving him a bond. Now, on the other hand, if you do give him a bond and he does anything out of the ordinary, it's bad for the judge and it looks bad.
This case really started in November of 2023 when Cassie Ventura filed her civil suit. She is clearly victim number one in the indictment. So the feds are saying he's known since January of 2024 that he was under investigation. He's known that. And he still was doing things behind the scenes that he shouldn't have been doing. But his defense team is saying, look, he's not a flight risk. He's been trying to sell his plane. He's done things. He's moved some money around to ensure that he could put his property up as part of his bail package. I mean, are these things really good enough? Because these are some very serious federal crimes that he's accused.
Yes, it is. Like, he's not your normal flight risk. A flight risk is a nigga with money that could be disappeared. Diddy can't go anywhere.
Accused of. And there is so much that the government will probably talk about at trial that we still don't know about. They've talked about it in the bail letter when it comes to racketeering and things like that. But there's so much that's not in the indictment. Am I wrong?
No, I don't think you're wrong. And I think it circles back to what I'm saying. Fun. So yeah, if their position is that he knew about it in January of 2024, he wasn't taking it seriously. How do we know that he wasn't taking it seriously? Well, he had machine guns with altered serial numbers at his home. So
Nigga, you are obsessed with that part.
Tonight,
especially since they ain't put no
Sean
new charges
Combs,
on this nigga. Where are the new fucking charges? I need new charges first.
Obviously thought that he was probably untouchable, above the law, and this whole indictment reeks of someone that thought he was untouchable and beyond the grasp of the law. The problem here is that, if you're a billionaire like Mr. Combs is, and you like to have these freak offs, and you like to hire prostitutes, whether they're male or female, to get on your plane and cross state lines to have drug-fueled orgies, you know what, somebody...
And yes, the guns could be bad. But remember, the place where they caught guns, they also got people up out of there. So, somebody could easily, even if them guns became an issue for real, somebody could easily go, those was mine. And this is their first time. They not getting ready to get hit like that. They was in Florida too.
In your circle should be telling you you're breaking federal laws when you do this. Because what somebody would have considered, 2009 to be a fun weekend, and now in 2024, post-Epstein, people are like, that's human trafficking. You think it's cool to fill your plane with prostitutes and go have a drug-fueled orgy, but you're committing federal crimes.
So basically, y'all telling them to now take these hoes on these planes and don't pay them. Hey, I can't pay you because it will be considered trafficking.
And I think somebody should have alerted him to him. But then again, it's consistent. His actions are consistent with someone that thought that he was above the law, up to and to including the moment that they served search warrants on his property.
We all know that jail is not fun, and the MDC especially has a really bad reputation. So I can understand why they've argued twice now for bail, but taking it to the appeals court kind of takes it to a whole other level. And the likelihood of success to me seems low. That I don't think the Court of Appeals, I mean, this is just me looking at it. I don't think.
But the percentage chance to become Diddy is also low as well.
They're going to overrule two lower court judges on this decision. Why are they doing this? Why are they doing this?
Okay, the answer is simple, because you have a client that's asking you to. And you have a client like Mr. Combs that, despite acting like a gangster, is not a gangster. He's a record executive. He's been famous since he was almost a teenager. He doesn't know what it is to really be involved in organized crime, despite the fact that he was acting like it. He doesn't know what it's like to be incarcerated. So now he's totally freaking out, and he's pestering them and asking them. So, what they're doing now is more probably to appease their client than to get a favorable ruling from the court, because I agree with you. A trial court, an appellate court judge is not going to interfere with a trial court's determination that affects the public safety. Because all of a sudden, something happens and it's going to land on whatever appellate judge wanted to disturb what the trial court judge was ruled. So yeah, I agree with you. I don't see them doing it, but they're in a position where they have a high-profile client paying them a lot of money and asking them to do it. So they're in a position where they're going to have to do it. And listen, and I understand from being a criminal defense attorney, preparing to go to trial with your client in custody, and in custody, like in a place where Mr. Combs is not favorable to the defense. It puts a lot of restrictions on preparation, how you can access your
right. And see, and when you say shit like that, that makes me think that, well, since Puff is such a rare case of high profile, they almost have to let him out, or he won't be able to, or they won't be able to say that they let him have a fair defense.
Your client, it really affects the preparation for trial, but during the
I'm with you, Africa. I truly think they downplaying it some. Because when I agree with you when they say, and I'm talking to them, when I agree with you when you say, oh, it's a lower chance. Yeah, it's a lower chance for me and you. It's a lower chance for me and you to go to an appellate court. But with Diddy and a lot of these entities and shit, this is where they get their work done. You get the first judge to deny you, and then they go quietly to the appellate court and win.
They're in the position that they're in, and the trial court made that decision. And it circles back to when I read the indictment and I saw those machine guns, I was like, that is the straw that broke the camel's back when regarding whether or not we're going to give this guy bail. Because you know what, you could maybe justify everything. It was consensual, and everybody involved in these orgies was consensual. And I gave people drugs because they wanted drugs, not because I wanted to control them. But why do you have these machine guns with ultra serial numbers? Why? Because you're acting like a gangster.
The guns with the scratched off serial numbers are very concerning, and it's scary. You hit on a point that I want to talk about just finally here.
She's not even feeling you on that, nigga.
They do point out in their appeal that, they have all this evidence that this was consensual. There were no crimes committed. And they've been saying that these so-called freak-offs were consensual. So is that going to win the day here? I mean, putting that in the bail application, I get what they're saying, but is that argument going to win the day?
I mean, listen, I said this from the beginning.
It can't be bro. What if those are really his guns and he just scratched the serial numbers off in case somebody stole them? And he didn't want people to know that those were his guns. Because that was what I said in the beginning. I was like, I did say, hey, they found them guns. That's bad. There's been no new charges connected with them guns. There ain't been no stolen gun charges. There ain't been no body charges. Nothing. So for you to be like, this is going to be the key topic of the bail hearing, I'm like, if that's the case, then where's the new charges?
Defense here has to be, yeah, he's a freak, but he's not a criminal. and everybody involved in these freak-offs, it was consensual, and I'm sure you're going to see a trial. You're going to see evidence that it kind of was. You know, people like excited. Oh, you know, I look forward to seeing you in Chicago. I look forward to seeing you here. I'm sure we're going to see evidence that it's consensual until the moment that someone says that it's not. That's why when you're a billionaire, you have to protect yourself, and you can't leave yourself at the mercy of people's testimony that can change from one day to the next, 1 month to the next, or 1 year to the next. Because now they're going to go retroactively back, and every single person's going to be like, oh no, I was there against my will, or he showed me a video and he was blackmailing me. Or that's the problem, and that's the position that he's put himself in. And I think that they're going to have evidence that he was
Nigga, you, I don't know where you getting a lot of this from, to be honest.
Using these freak-offs, and he was using the entire scheme that he was of these videos to control people, to get favorable results from other record executives. Listen, if you're a record executive, a politician, a performer, or an actor, and you've been involved in an orgy with Mr. Combs, you're in big trouble. And, you know, I've spoken about this before. When they say that, you know, he's the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this investigation, it never works that way. Mr. Combs is a big name, but there's much bigger names. And, you know, and we look at politicians. I mean, a couple of weeks after Mr. Combs got indicted, the mayor got indicted of New York. Does it have anything to do with it? Do with it? Maybe not. But that's really the goal of, you know, the federal government. They like entertainers, but they like politicians more. So whoever P. Diddy can now start pointing the finger to, I think that that's what's going to happen. I think he's going to try and save himself, and he's going to start pointing the finger at other people.
My thing is he's trying to figure out if he got a snitch. Because here's the thing. Now, if I'm going to believe what you're trying to say about him snitching, well, here's the rub with that. Well, if he ain't snitched yet, then it's a higher likelihood that he'll get out. Just pump your brakes a bit.
Interesting. Mauricio Padilla, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
And that's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Thanks so much for being with me. I'll see you back here next time.
Sure you will. Hey, nigga, these thumbnails. Hey, you want to know who be motherfucking catfishing on their thumbnails? Nancy Grace be looking 20 years younger in her thumbnails, and it be like a video that just was uploaded today. Here, I even got to show y'all. Look, I'm putting on the screen so you can see the transformation yourself. It's a full-on transformation. All right, do you see Nancy Grace right there? Press 1 for yes, 2 for no. Exactly, Obsidian. Exactly. How much proof do they really have if this is the route we taking? Now, watch Nancy Grace age 20 years right before your eyes.
Tactical nuke incoming!
Look how much older than her motherfucking thumbnail she is, nigga. Nigga, her hair done thinned all. Look at her right here. And then, nigga, her hair done thinned out, nigga. Why the fuck you lying? Why the fuck you lying like this, Nancy Grace? You need to, hey, I'm gonna start reporting your thumbnails for spam, nigga. Deceptive spam. You can't even get that helmet shit in your hair no more. You, nigga, why don't you go sit your ass down somewhere, nigga? Damn, she doing the most. She another one where it's like, please don't start reporting on Diddy, because if Diddy's actually guilty, you gonna help that nigga get off. Trust me, I saw your work with Casey Anthony. It worked wonders. She did life because of you. Thanks. I mean, she looked drunk. She looked drunk than a motherfucker, nigga. The last nigga that need to be reporting on Diddy is that bitch, bro. She ain't put now nigga in jail yet. Nobody has gone to prison over Nancy Grace. As a matter of fact, if Nancy Grace start reporting on you, you probably getting off. And you want to know who else? Bro, when this motherfucker show up, this is when I know shit's going left. Who am I talking about?
Tactical nuke incoming!
Here we fucking go.
Tonight, in a special 2020, ABC News took a closer look at the downfall of the famous and powerful hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs.
Did he really
He's
fall?
now facing allegations of violence and sexual assault that could send him to prison for the rest of his life. Attorney Gloria Allred is representing some of Diddy's accusers. Our Michelle Fisher sat down with Allred to speak exclusively about the atmosphere surrounding the high-profile case.
It's really all about power and abuse of power.
Prominent attorney Gloria Allred, who has represented accusers of Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, and R. Kelly, speaking exclusively with Eyewitness News. She now represents an undisclosed number of Sean Diddy Combs' alleged victims, including Talia Graves.
All of these shyster-ass fucking lawyers coming out of nowhere. With undisclosed amount of people.
The trauma of the assault has taken a toll on my mental health.
Tonight's 2020 special, The Secret Life of Diddy, details.
Nigga, this is outrageous. This is a special already. This nigga might get bail tomorrow, and y'all got specials out about him like this.
Combs' fall as he faces individual and class action lawsuits and federal charges of racketeering conspiracy, forced sex trafficking, and prostitution. He's pleaded not guilty. His attorney saying prosecutors are seeking to criminalize sex that was consensual.
Consent is a big issue, and it is the government's burden in a criminal case to prove any charge and all charges beyond a reasonable doubt. That's a very high burden of proof.
Combs is now asking a federal judge for a trial date next April or May, and we could see ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura take the witness stand. This despite an undisclosed
Stop the fuck. She ain't taking the witness stand for you, nigga.
Settlement reached one day after Ventura filed a lawsuit against Combs last November, accusing him of rape and abuse.
Even if there are confidential civil settlements, there's always an exception in the law. They can still testify in a court of law if they are subpoenaed to do so.
This bombshell surveillance video leaked in May showing a 2016 incident where Combs appears to assault Ventura, her friend Tiffany read detailing alleged verbal abuse in the 2020 special.
And as soon as he answered,
you have no credibility unless you saw it.
What are you? So that was like my first time being like, something is wrong.
Combs remains behind.
Something is wrong?
And bars after two judges denied his request for bond, citing in part dangers of obstruction and witness tampering. Allred says it's a tactic we've seen before in high-profile cases.
Sometimes there are criminal charges filed not only against the defendant, but also against the person who is his friend or supporter who does threaten.
Not you trying to get somebody close to him to snitch.
A witness. And that was the case in the R. Kelly criminal case as well.
In a third attempt to get out of jail until his trial, Combs is again offering a $50 million bond and promising strict home detention. His attorneys writing in a brief to a federal appeal court judge, quote, sensationalism surrounding his arrest has distorted bail analysis. Combs is due back in court on Thursday.
Bro, of all the defenses, that's at least one that I say that's possible. That's possible, but see, shit already starting to unravel.
We talked about this before in the Flashing Lights report. A woman by the name of Talia Graves is suing Diddy and his head of security for allegedly raping her back in 2001. And in the lawsuit, she says she was dating one of Diddy's employees who was shown a video of the alleged incident. Now, her ex-man is coming out and basically saying, like, yo, she tried to pay me money to go along with this story. Now, TMZ was the one who broke the story, and they have seen text messages between Talia and the man who was her boyfriend, where she's revealing and planning to sue Diddy, quote, because he's the one that has the money. And it also appears that she offered.
Oh, shit. Hey, say that one more time for the people in the back.
Between Talia and the man who was her boyfriend, where she's revealing and planning to sue Diddy, quote, because he's the one that has the money. And it also appears that she offered to give him $3 million if he agrees to back her version of the alleged events.
Well, and this is the problem right now, right? Because, you're going to have a lot of noise that is fake noise and fake news around the Diddy thing. And that's going to force some people to believe that all of the things.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
Unfortunately, there's video of what happened between him and Cassie. There is Kid Cudi's account of what happened with the blowing up of the car. There's the videos that the feds found at the house already that, were already filmed with unbeknownst to the individuals at the events. And I got to remind everyone that this case.
That's what I'm saying, like blatant shit. Where I'm like, bro, if y'all want me to believe that Diddy did some of this shit, y'all got to be able to call out this bullshit. Because when you're not calling out this bullshit, it makes me wonder, is all of it bullshit? Because the one thing we've all known about Diddy was, see, this whole like rape narrative of Diddy is new. People always thought Diddy was on some gay shit, some zesty shit. And they always thought this nigga was like a woman beater and he mad aggressive. He way more aggressive than he come off, like physical, like he ready to catch fades type shit. This whole thing where that translates into a sex trafficking drug demon with thousands of bottles of liquid GHB, that's a hard jump with no evidence, bro. And then y'all got these bitches out here getting caught. Y'all got these same ass grifters, Gloria Allred come around. This Tony Busby nigga, he's getting all this media coverage and he ain't had to show no fucking proof. I believe Jaguar right more than I believe that nigga, and I don't even believe her.
Case against Diddy isn't just about orgies, quote unquote freak-offs. Whether you like it or not, consenting adults can be as freaky as they want to be.
Yeah.
As long as you're not like, I don't know, threatening people, transporting people against their will for the purpose of having sex, drugging people, and these other things that people, according to the federal lawsuit, is saying happen and that they have documented.
I just had a memory, though, of the early Cassie story. The first time we heard the term freak-off in this context was when Cassie said she was forced to participate in them.
And forced to go find male prostitutes.
Yes. And that he would videotape her with male prostitutes, and that was a, quote, freak-off. So
I only bring that up because I do believe some of the, look, they opened.
Right, because that's the other part. See, and this is on some real shit. You gotta listen to what I'm saying for real. See, with Cassie, the shit sounded like a really, really bad, toxic-ass relationship. So, yeah, he did have Cassie doing some shit. But this shit where y'all be making it seem like he was forcing himself on like that on every bitch is wild. Like, nah, he was doing that shit with Cassie because I'm telling you, Cassie, the shit people ain't gonna admit, Cassie was with a lot of the shit in the beginning, and then it went to a place that she wasn't ready for it to go to. And she was naive. And a lot of shit that she just let go, she was naive with, and it was because she was trying to get her career off the ground. So I ain't gonna sit here and act like, it's totally all, but, y'all gotta stop acting like Cassie wasn't, what Cassie was. she had her nose open. I don't believe that she thought shit was gonna go as far as it started going, like with that nigga, whatever. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? If y'all want to convict this nigga, this ain't the way to do it. It's already gonna be hard enough to get a trial anyway. And if he get out on bail tomorrow, then y'all basically wrap this shit up. If he gets out tomorrow, he ain't going back in no cage. Not over this.
The Diddy sexual abuse hotline that received 12,000 phone calls.
No, listen, some of this is going to be nonsense. There's no. By the way, I think even the whole feds running up in his house, the big, huge trafficking racketeer, I think they're definitely trumping up some charges.
I do too.
I just think the charges that are true are also so bad, you know what I'm saying, that I'm not necessarily losing that much sleep over it. But I do think that those big, huge, I don't know, did he have a whole empire of crime?
Well,
I don't know about that.
Even the whole...
Because the only thing that, at least from my perspective, that we can really feel like Diddy can, that we can look and be like, well, we know Diddy's guilty on that because he know he guilty on that. And it's really the Cassie situation. He settled with her within 24 hours. And I think that was more so for what she know than what he did to her, obviously. I do feel they trumping up some of these charges, though. Because here's the biggest problem I have. This is the one problem. If Diddy did all of this shit, the trafficking and all this shit they accusing him of, right? How the fuck is he the only one locked up? There's no way. Somebody else got to go too. There's no way that the one person you can tell me that there was a sex trafficking ring and only one person is going to sit down over it. Everybody don't get to tell on Diddy.
120 people with the Texas attorney. There was the same Deshaun. You told
Tony
me
Busby,
the Deshaun Watson attorney.
Yeah,
where people were like, "Wait, what?
120 people?"
So you're just casting a net out to people and seeing if they want to get together and go after.
Yeah. So there's going to be.
Yeah, like what kind of shit is that? That's what I'm like. This ain't how we get him.
Nasty things that happen that may not be true, but then there's stuff that we know really appears to be true that's really horrible also. So
that's your Flash and Lights report.
And this is the thing. Now y'all letting people, nobody was having these conversations about Diddy getting treated unfairly until what? Y'all niggas came up trying to grift the fucking situation. This is exactly what I'm talking about when I say y'all niggas coming up here grifting. If this nigga actually did some shit, he gonna end up fucking getting off over it. Niggas piss me off. This shit ain't even complicated. It's already gonna be hard enough to get a jury, and look at the shit y'all doing. Yes, there's gonna be some people that agree with y'all. But there's going to be a lot of people that's going to be sitting there like, y'all borderline look crazy. Look, he getting charged with trafficking and all these different news reports and shit every day, and nobody has put up any type of evidence showing that this nigga's trafficking. And again, this ain't saying that he didn't do it. I'm trying to help y'all understand it's going to take a lot to put Sean Combs in prison for the rest of his life. You understand how much fucking money this nigga got for a legal defense? And this thing where y'all think everybody gonna be in there, everybody gonna be in the courtroom thinking how y'all thinking like it's a Twitter poll or some shit is wild. This nigga that's sitting here saying, that he think Diddy going to prison said that the people he look up to Diddy's lawyer. And y'all sitting here underestimating a nigga that supposedly got $1 billion. Y'all underestimating, can this nigga get out on bail, and underestimating if this nigga can plot a good defense, whether he get bail or not. Ain't no new charges came, none of that shit. We just chilling. All right.
So tomorrow, Thursday, October 10th, Diddy's team will be back in court again. So they have a status hearing. And in this status hearing, there will be a conversation about Diddy attempting again for the third time to get bail. He's trying to come home until he has to be in court. Now, this time, the difference is there is another new judge. And he has, that new legal team that he hired that we talked about previously, including a woman named Alexandra Shapiro. Now, she's leading this legal team, and what they're saying in the court documents that we received that they filed attempting for this third bail is that, number one, there's insufficient evidence. The court or the prosecutors didn't show enough evidence to back up everything that they were claiming, as far as Diddy being dangerous to the community and the claims that he was tampering with witnesses. They're also claiming that there were legal errors in the court's decision because they didn't, according to Diddy's team, show all of that evidence and stuff that they needed to show. They're saying, this was, everything that y'all did was based off of speculation, and that is not right. That's an error. You can't do that. They're also saying he put up this bail package that was going to be all of this money. He gave up the passports, 24-hour security, no contact, phone call logs, all this stuff
selling
to show
the jet, selling the house,
right, to show that he was
house.
not a flight risk. But you guys still denied it, and they believe that this is all happening because Diddy is who he is. He's a major celebrity who's been famous for majority of his life. So because of that, all of this stuff is being sensationalized. So the prosecutors, according to Diddy's team and how they feel, are able to come in and just say, oh, he was tampering with witnesses on this date, this date, this date, without providing any hard evidence that it actually happened. And the judge will hear and make a decision. Or they show a Cassie video that we all saw, which is horrendous. And that proves, even though they're trying to say that was in whatever year that was, and we're here today, he has apologized for it. He's come out and said he was wrong about how the lawyers handled it. Whatever he decided to do, that should only be a piece of what they're using to hold him in jail, not the full thing. But because everything is sensationalized because of who he is, it was able to be a major determining factor. So,
but didn't he contact a bunch of people who had been subpoenaed to testify against him?
So they're in this filing, they're not denying that happened, nor are they confirming it. What they're saying is that you guys claim this and you provided dates, times, a little bit of that, but there was no hard evidence. The evidence still could have been something that was speculated because of conversations you may have had with somebody, and they're saying, we're in court. A judge should have said, well, I need to see more to make sure that's actually correct, because you're taking his freedom away until he's able to go to court. That's all they're saying, is that we want harder evidence. This needs to be proven more. Y'all are able to get away with things because he is who he is, and the world knows about what's happening.
Yeah, I was at, like what Charlamagne said, were those people subpoenaed and then he reached out to them, or they haven't been subpoenaed first, so they weren't subpoenaed?
So in that second bail attempt, we talked about it. They said that they had some, and what will probably happen is they're going to end up showing the evidence now. But they had received, conversations that he allegedly had with people that he hadn't spoken to in years, and he only spoke to them after they were subpoenaed.
That looks very suspicious.
Right. But they're arguing technical terms here. They're arguing, well, technically you guys said it, but we didn't see it. We need to see it now. Show us the money. So that's probably what the prosecutors are going to do. They're going to come with the hard evidence now. So we'll see how this plays out tomorrow. Now, another day.
Diddy's still in Brooklyn, right?
Yes.
The jail in Brooklyn.
Yep, he's still in MDC, Brooklyn. Now, while all this is happening, you guys remember the woman, Thalia Graves, who's being represented by Gloria Allred?
Yes.
So that's the woman who said that Diddy allegedly raped her, recorded it, and that he was trying to sell the videos, or his team was trying to sell the videos or whatever.
Yeah. And he was showing the videos allegedly, right?
Yes, allegedly. And she also alleged that one of his security guards also raped her.
Uh-oh.
As well. Well,
that was Big Joe. She's talking about Sherman.
Yeah, yep, Joe Sherman. So TMZ is actually reporting now that they have received text messages, and these text messages show that this woman, Thalia, had reached out to the ex, because all this started. She said that
this is how all this shit is perfectly happening right before this nigga's bail hearing. Here we fucking go.
She saw this video because an ex-boyfriend of hers used to work for Diddy. He saw the video and then came back and told her, like, yo, this video was going around. They're trying to sell it, whatever. So now there are these text messages that TMZ said that they have obtained from that ex-boyfriend that
All right. It's wild conspiracy time. I got one. Nigga, what if this is all a plot by Diageo to boost the sales from Diddy? And here's why. Diddy's popularity has gone down the last couple years due to a lot of these rumors. If they never show any hard evidence and Diddy beat this case, his brand potential will shoot through the roof like never before, because there's going to be a lot of people that's going to instantly fuck with Diddy because he will forever look like the black man that finally became one of the billionaires, and then they tried to lie and tear him down, and he survived. He's back to fucking doing Ciroc, De Leon, all that shit that Diageo owe. And the shit gonna do numbers. And Diddy gonna do numbers. The moment he come out, man, Instagram, YouTube, and all these niggas gonna be begging Diddy to be the first on the first, do his first talking on their platform. Because all of this shit's just weird. Gloria Allred coming out of nowhere helping Diddy. This shit helps Diddy. She didn't have to bring her ass nowhere near this shit. Every time she do, it's some bullshit. She bring her ass around, and what does she bring? A bitch that ain't got no credibility. She probably the one that leaked them damn text messages for all we fucking know. We got some nigga that's in Texas talking about, yeah, nigga, I got 120 victims. These motherfuckers ain't never told nobody, but they all told me. And they all called my Diddy raped us hotline. Come on, nigga, man. So now if Diddy actually did it and he get off right here, nobody's good. Even if people like he really did do it, nobody's gonna ever listen again. This is it.
Show a conversation between Thalia and this ex-boyfriend where she's saying, if you corroborate my story, I'll pay you X amount of money. Wow. I just need you to corroborate my story. And they're also claiming that they actually spoke to the ex, and the ex, he stamped everything. He said, yes, these text messages are real. After the conversation happened, he says he blocked her because he didn't want nothing to do with the situation whatsoever. And in the text was basically saying that she planned to sue Diddy because he was the one with the money out of the two, but she ended up suing two people. So Thalia's attorney, Gloria Allred, said after this, she spoke out. She says, it is very common that rich, powerful men and their supporters attempt to discredit, shame, and humiliate accusers who have the courage to come forward. The complaint speaks for itself. Our client
that just didn't hit like you thought it did, Gloria. I ain't gonna hold you.
Is looking forward to her day in court. So they're not backing away from this whatsoever.
Even though there's text messages, actual text messages?
These are alleged text messages according to TMZ. We have not seen them ourselves, but they're saying that these are real. They're saying that they spoke to the gentleman who was in the text that verified them. But this is something that...
And if they lying, Gloria Allred can go ahead and sue TMZ and go ahead and get that bag, right?
Also, I'm assuming Diddy's team, because in the story they said that Diddy's team also has these text messages as well. They're going to be presenting this somewhere in court at some point. So that the validity of that will be determined by judges.
They might bring that shit up at bail tomorrow
as well too. But if that is true, of course that damages her case. Like there is no case at that point because that's bribery.
If those text messages,
like if Diddy brings this up at bail hearing tomorrow, that ain't gonna do shit but help him. Like, man, one of these so-called victims. Literally, we done found out she's blatantly lying. We able to prove it.
Messages exist. Wow.
Right.
That is insane.
Yeah. So
exactly, Gloria. If TMZ lying, go ahead, knuckle up, and let's do these niggas. They got a whole bag waiting for you.
I don't know. I mean, tomorrow, Thursday, we'll see what happens in court with the bail. I don't think that he's going to get granted bail. That's my prediction. I don't think that he'll get granted bail in this third time around. Only because I think now they're just going to come with the evidence and it'll be shut down. But we'll see what happens.
Now, I'm just curious if
we will be live tomorrow for it.
The accuser was found lying. What happens to her? They just drop the case and she just goes on her merry way?
Of course.
Exactly, Charlamagne. They ain't gonna do shit to her.
That works. It's always like that.
That's not right. That's crazy.
I don't know.
I mean, at that point, Diddy's team could come after her legally?
Yeah, and the security Big Joe should sue too, if that's the case.
They got a lot. Diddy's team has a lot more to worry about. You don't think?
Yeah, I wouldn't put that money towards that if I was them.
They got a lot.
Exactly, she broke.
More to worry about right now.
A lot more other issues, pressing issues than that.
Yeah, but that ain't right. If that's
that's supposed to be on the police though. They supposed to go do something, not Diddy.
What happened and the accuser absolutely positively lied and there's proof that the accuser lied, you just walk away, just okay, nothing happens, keep it moving.
But
that's really, I mean,
I'm gonna make
in this Diddy situation, that's one of many.
I'm gonna make a list for you.
Take out Diddy out of this. The court system shouldn't press charges for lying like that.
The court system in New York got a lot more to worry about right now too.
No, bitch, ain't nobody trying to hear that shit. Shut the fuck up. Here come that feminism shit. Oh yeah, women should be allowed to lie.
I'm gonna make a list, and I need both these pages. You might gotta give me a third one of everything Diddy got to worry about right now.
That's what I'm saying.
I promise you. I hear you, Envy, but you dying on that hill by yourself. He got a lot more to.
Yeah, that's the excuse. Is a woman should be allowed to lie on men as long as it's okay for her to do it. As long as he got more shit he could be worried about. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
And by the way, Diddy being even if that is a lie, it's a lot of other things that are probably true. That's just the reality of the situation.
Irrelevant. See, that's like saying that if he get found innocent of all these other situations, that she was lying based off of that. See how it worked both ways? See why you shouldn't judge people off of that? Because it sounds stupid. If he get found guilty of this, you can't be like, well, he's probably guilty of other shit. No, we're not talking about other shit. We talking about this.
All right.
That was Diddy for today.
All right. Just with the mess with Laura LaRosa. Charlamagne!
Yes.
Look, what am I? We'll give you a donkey too.
You need to cut it out. Okay?
What?
It's just like every single time you hear a Diddy story, you get extra kinky. You need to cut it out.
What was that?
We'll give you a donkey too.
You need to cut it out. Okay?
What?
It's just like every single time you hear a Diddy story, you get extra kinky.
Extra kinky, nigga. That is a wild selection of words.
Cut it out.
I'm not getting to do nothing. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, Pa, tell everybody what you said before we turn the mics on.
What?
Nigga, what the fuck you say, Envy?
Right.
What's kinky?
Just 4 after the hour, Governor Ron DeSantis is coming to the front of the congregation. We'd like to have a word with him. Everybody in this room heard you say it.
Yeah, but it's true. Look.
You need us to corroborate your story?
Listen, here's the thing, Lauren. What you're not understanding is he wants to say it.
No, I don't. I don't want to say anything. I'm trying to get you to fix it.
He's fighting himself. He wants to say it so bad.
No, I don't.
He wants to say what he said
want you to know.
So
I was in the room, but I didn't hear anything unless you got 6 figures from me. You need to bribe me. I didn't hear anything.
Keep all of this recorded, Ray, okay? I'm going to need all of this against these people. All right? All right.
Donkey Today's up next. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Well, Envy, nigga, I know Envy think that whole real estate shit over. Envy, you going to go sit down over that. At some point, at some point, you going to go sit down over that, Envy. In my opinion. What do I know? But I know you think niggas done forgot. I ain't. What up? It's your boy DJ Envy Scammer. Flipping NJ Scammer. Will Diddy come home tomorrow? Press 1 for yes, 2 for no. Is Diddy gonna get bail? It's your last chance. I'm gonna side with the rich and powerful, unfortunately, in this case. And Diddy will probably get bail. And I don't think it's gonna be as tough as he's making it. one of the stipulations, he can't be on his phone or the internet. I'm like, that's putting him on vacation. Mandating that Diddy can't be on the phone is a vacation for him. Diddy probably got 5 cell phones rolling. The only reason why I think he should is, in my personal opinion, them not giving him bail is just for show. It don't show that he's like guilty or no shit. This is like for show. Which when they start doing shit for show, that makes me nervous in what evidence they actually got, because it's like you're trying to convict him in a court of public opinion with the Cassie video and the freak off terms and the baby oil and all these things where it's like, what the fuck is some of this shit got to do with it? Which I felt where some niggas were saying that in the beginning. But it's like, y'all gonna start turning people, bro. And not giving him bail, it's kind of wild. Because there ain't no bodies. Because, like, his lawyer is arguing that some of the shit that he didn't get bail for, that they didn't do a sufficient job even proving. So, like, when they went to court and was like, yeah, he hit that chick a bunch of times, his lawyer saying they never even proved it. They just went and said it, and the judge just believed them. So, I guess we'll see tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting for Diddy. It'll be fun to watch either way. But everybody's just kind of stepping over this new judge thing. Like the dude that came out that was like, he went to a Diddy party when he was 6 years old. And I'm like, the picture looks like y'all were at like a motherfucking resort or some shit. Like, it looked like it was daytime like a motherfucker. It didn't look like you were at a Diddy party. It looked like you were somewhere and Diddy was there. Yeah, but here's the crazy part, African and Blessed, which you absolutely right. But here's the flip side of that. What if he gotta let Diddy out so he don't let nothing happen to his reputation? That could ruin his reputation. That's the crazy part. We got a judge let this nigga get out to protect his reputation. Especially at the motherfucking golf course and everybody talking about how much money or whatever they missing while Diddy's locked up. Now, Gene Deal gonna look kind of crazy though. Gene Deal been and you know niggas been taking some victory laps. Diddy come home. Now what? And the funny thing is the way that Diddy never acknowledges certain of them niggas on that shit. Like not even his legal team. The feds, like, nobody acknowledges motherfucking, like, any of the grifters. I guess out of the grifters, who's acknowledged? by any type of legal team. Nobody. It was like Piers Morgan was the first one, right? So it's like you got Gene Deal, Jaguar Wright. These motherfuckers, the police don't want to talk to them. Feds don't want to talk to them. The lawyers don't. And here's the other thing. I think they got evidence on people like especially Gene Deal. That's why Gene Deal ain't going to talk to no police. He only talking to people that will pay him. Like, the only way I could get Gene Deal on this show, let's say I had a victim and everything. The only way Gene Deal would come on this show is if I paid him. Plain and simple. And I got a problem with that. That's the same thing with Jag. Anybody can get Jaguar right if you got the money. She'll come on your show and say something, and the bigger the pay, the bigger the lie.
As for Diddy, his lawyers are trying for the third time to get him out on bail.
Yeah, look, based on stuff I've heard Gene Deal say, it sounds like he should be a defendant as well.
The proposal, he'd have travel restricted to Florida and New York, home detention with GPS monitoring, 24/7 monitoring by a third-party security force, no access to the internet, no phones, no female visitors except family, weekly drug testing, and video camera monitoring if necessary.
Let's get up on that.
Meanwhile, Diddy will face a federal judge tomorrow for a different matter.
There's two reasons that they're going to be having this hearing to determine whether or not he's going to be moved to a different jail and probably get a trial date.
Diddy's team will ask for the trial to start in April or May.
Agencies cases and cases of baby oil, more than 1,000 bottles altogether.
The question, was any of that baby oil laced with a date rape drug? That's the new claim in a soon-to-be-filed civil lawsuit.
Yeah, but it's going to be hard to prove that lawsuit when the feds are like, well, out of all that baby oil, we didn't find drugs in any. That's why we didn't charge that nigga.
In the suit, there is a part where Mr. Combs is threatening her with a knife and makes her take off her clothes. And then he takes what she believes is some type of lubricant or oil. She just said he just started squirting it at her. Over the course of this, her body got more and more limp, and she couldn't figure out essentially what was causing it.
Diddy.
But this didn't affect Diddy? If he could just spray that fucking shit on her, then doesn't that mean if he went in contact with it, it would make his body go limp and shit too? How are they fucking covered in this shit that makes bodies go limp? That lawyer bitch, she a clown too.
He has always denied any allegations of sexual abuse and rape. Attorney Ariel Mitchell-Kidd speculated to News Nation on what she believes may have been in the oil.
It seems that oil in general is used as a conduit for specific drugs like GHB. It seems to me that there were some types of drugs mixed into the oil, that was what was lowering her defenses.
But wouldn't it fuck him up? But wouldn't it fuck him up? How's this nigga fucking in that oil? Hold on right quick. Well, shit, that was unexpected. Nigga, I just got like sick out of nowhere. That's fucking wild. 8 years of streaming, that's never happened to me. I guess it was that damn Lace GHB talk. That shit weird. I'm supposed to believe that this nigga had some fucking GHB in baby oil, and he's spraying them, but it's not affecting him or the male prostitute. Shit, I guess so, big. Who knows? It just seems like a lot of fumbling with this Diddy shit is happening right now when there wasn't any going on at all. I guess that's my only issue. But I guess I'm gonna go ahead and bounce, bro. I don't know what the fuck that was, and I feel fine. But whatever it was like, nah, you gotta get rid of it right now. So. But either way, I'm gone. Say goodnight to your boy. Janice, Big, Christine, African and Blessed, Carefree, Lennox. Shit, I promise I'm straight. I just going some water. Joy. Like I said, I ain't never had that happen in 8 years. Guess we start the clock back over. Yeah, I'll put a post. Like I said, I don't know what the fuck that was. It had to be something I ate or something because it had to get up out of me. Tammy, I love y'all to death, man. I'll see y'all here in a couple hours because I will be live either while they doing it or what I feel towards the end. And maybe even right after. If I ain't on before, like right after they announce it, I'll be on. But then again, I'm probably lying. God is great. I'll see y'all here shortly. Diddy. I just need you to do better.
Hello, Mayor Moore. My name's Alex Stein. I reside at 7509 Inwood Road, and I'm here because emotionally I'm not doing well. My wife, she's been very unhappy with me lately because I have a unique opinion. And that opinion is that I want to help Puff Daddy get out of jail. And I think it's absolutely ridiculous that the guy would be arrested for doing a couple freak-offs, and he never really hurt anybody, in my opinion. And I think that should be known, that Puff Daddy should be innocent, and I wrote him a little song. You guys can sing if you want. We miss you, Puff. We want you out. Don't cry and shout. You should be free. Let's call Jay-Z. Puff Daddy's not a felon just because you got freaky with Ellen. Puff Daddy should be free. No, he doesn't have HIV. Puff Daddy is the best. Puff Daddy's better than the rest. Puff Daddy didn't kill Biggie. You know that is a lie. Puff Daddy would never cry. Puff Daddy is having fun. Puff Daddy is my son. Puff Daddy had a gun. Puff Daddy is the best. Puff Daddy beats the rest. Puff Daddy is my hero. Puff Daddy's not a zero. Puff Daddy should be free. Puff Daddy doesn't have HIV. Puff Daddy is not a felon for what he did with Ellen. Puff Daddy is not a felon. I don't care what he did with Ellen. Puff Daddy should be free. Someone please call Jay-Z. I love you, Puff. Please let him out. This is so hard for me and my family right now, Mayor Moore. This is the Flower Mound free golf. He just did a couple free golfs. He didn't do anything, not on tape. So it's all on video, him and LeBron James. Whatever they did is on tape. What he did with Kamala Harris, and we should make it where felons can vote. So Puff Daddy can still vote for Kamala Harris for President of the United States of America. Puff Daddy, he should be free. And Puff Daddy doesn't have HIV. I'm just emotional. I free my boy Puff. I don't care what he did. He should be innocent. He's getting set up. And don't let him happen the same results of what happened to Jeffrey Epstein. Please, Mayor, if you can do anything, I love you. Thank you. Bye.
Mr. Stein, did you say your address?
It's 7509 Inwood Road. You're welcome to come over anytime. And me and Puff Daddy, we did a lot of
Done,
stuff.
Mr. Stein.
You're welcome
Bye.
to come over. See you soon.
The next person. We have a lot of people talk.
Good night, Kendra. Good night, Truska. You really did that for Puff.
Yo, what's going on, boys? How are you?
Yo, dap me up.
Hey, all right, damn. What part of the city are you from?
Yo,
What's up?
there, brother.
Hey,
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah.
You guys ready for this?
Take this.
Oh, all right, sick. Why don't you guys come inside?
Don't ski.
These are the guys.
I'm Octavius Gray. And I'm Steve. Steve Lavoie. It's okay, I have vape in here, right?
Set the mood right. Pick you up, baby, I'm looking so fly. Sunset rooftop, yeah, that's nice, right? Hop in the G-Class, I know you need that. Heart racing fast like the speed of light. Is this attraction, or is it the moonlight? You want satisfaction, but only for one night. This could be real love, but you've been broken, and I just want you to see what I can be for you. 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 You got me wrapped up in your love.
Barely.
Finding you is like a treasure. Making my heart feel this way, yeah, yeah. And I'll treat you so damn
Which one? The one with the rock?
What you did, who you were with, I don't care about those days. When I'm with you, I won't complain. Share your success and heartbreaks. Yeah, you know I stay by your side. Never leave you dissatisfied. But I need you to let me know. Is this attraction, or is it the moonlight? You want satisfaction, but only for one night. This could be real love, but you've been broken, and I just want you to see what I can be for you. What I can be for you. just one night. Yeah, girl, it's just one night. Yeah, baby girl, it's just one night. Oh, yeah, it's just one night. Yeah, baby girl, it's just one night.
Crushed it.
God is great. See you in a few hours. Diddy might be going home, bro. This shit crazy. Life, bro.
Guys, I gotta go.
You got it,
I
Jess.
don't want to hurt myself.
You got a pee?
It's all right.
No,
You got it, Jess.
You gotta go, girl.
Let go.
I don't even want to fall.
Turn to the side.
You're okay.
You
Just
good.
land right on that booty, girl. Just put your legs out
Turn
and
to the
pull on
side.
your booty.
Jess, you're amazing. You got it.
You got it. You got it. Turn to the side. Just let go and turn. Like you're laying in bed.
Yep. Like you're jumping onto your bed on your side.
Just let go and turn to the side. Shut your eyes.
You got it, my love.
Just turn to the side.
You're okay.
Alpha.
I've never even heard of him.
I'm petty.